Welcome back to the Final K. We have got stage 19 of the Tour de France, one of the big main events of this year's Tour de France, obviously tomorrow as well, but we've got the Alpe d'Huez today. We've got 80 kilometres left. I think we're under 80 kilometres now, but we've in and around 80 kilometres left, and we do have a breakaway up the road, and UAE are chasing in the peloton as well. I will get into who is in this breakaway in a minute, but there are 42 riders up the road, and I have been up the road since the start of the stage. Both the two categorized climbs at the start of the stage are finished. That is what the stage is looking like in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. They've done the category 2 climb, they've done the category 1 climb, and they've just finished the descent of the category 1 climb, so they're towards the bottom of it. I'll actually get the wee red arrow up just quickly. So they're not there, they're not that far ahead, but they're currently sat in and around here ish, maybe a bit more to the right of it. That's where they're currently sat. And front of the peloton, how it's currently looking is there are two UAE riders at the front. Tim Wellens has already dropped out the back of the peloton. He's 4 minutes and 42 seconds down, obviously on the breakaway, but he's about a minute and 30 down on the peloton. And I think I know Niels Pollitt is going to be the one at Niels Pollitt's obviously at the front of the peloton. There's another rider. I'm going to guess it's Felix Großschartner or Florian Vermeersch, but I think it's most likely going to be Felix Großschartner at the front. So there's two UAE guys pulling in. The gap for the peloton to the breakaway is 3 minutes and 18. It was higher than that, so it is coming down. Niels Pollitt and his teammate from UAE, which I have yet to identify yet. But they're doing the job and bringing it down. They're in the valley now before the next categorized climb, so it's going to be... We're going to have to wait and see how that plays out. But hello, Robert. Hello, Stephanie. Hello, Shelley. Hello, Ian. Hello. Hope you're all good. The breakaway at the moment. Now, we've got some big hitters in this breakaway. That's why I'm excited to see how this breakaway does. And I'm sort of hoping that UAE do sort of slip off and the breakaway does sort of get away. That's what I'm hoping for. So we get the battle of the breakaway for the stage win. Then we obviously get the GC battle in behind, 2 battles for 1. But in this breakaway, as I said, 42 riders in the breakaway. Sebastian Berwick of Caja Royale, he's involved. 2 riders from Tudor, Michael Storer and Janus Vossard. Janus Vossard, obviously, he's battling for the top 10. He's 24 minutes down on Tadej Pogačar, but I think he's about 3. Obviously, the new GC, I'll get into that in a minute, but he's 3 minutes down on the top 10. There's 3 Groupama FDJ United riders. Quentin Pacher, Guillaume Martin and Clement Brazafonso and Guillaume Martin yet again making another appearance in the breakaway. Damien Housen is I'm going to assume he's obviously going to be he's either a satellite rider for Tom Pidcock, which I highly doubt, or he fancies his chances for the stage. Cofidis, they've one rider, that being Ian Izagiri, obviously his last Tour de France. Will he be able to show something off? Oh no. Niels Pollitt's dropped off the front of the peloton and Red Bull are now pulling at the front alongside Florian Vermeersch. Why are Red Bull helping? Why? I mean, I don't get that. They're just giving Tadej Pogačar the stage when they say Florian Vermeersch is back to the front. But once Florian Vermeersch is done, Tadej Pogačar's got Isaac Del Toro and Großschartner, and that's it. And then it's just the Red Bull guys the thing is the Red Bull guys are going to pull as well. But anyway, back to the break. Where was it? 4 riders from Movistar involved in this break. Einar Rubio, Javier Romo, Raul Garcia Pierna and Pablo Castrillo. They're the 4 riders from Movistar. Obviously, Raul Garcia Pierna making his second appearance here in the past 2 days. He was involved in the front breakaway group yesterday. He came 6th in the end, but he was still in the front group. 2 riders for NSN are here, Marco Frigo and George Bennett. Both of their breakaway riders. Crash, and the Tudor rider goes down, and it looks as though he hit that bollard a queer whack, because one rider for Alpecin goes down and one rider for Tudor goes down. Who is it? He's standing up, but he hit some concrete thing with it. It was Marco Haller. Marco Haller crashed. Who's the rider from Alpecin? The Alpecin rider is going to be Edward Plankert. Just as well there was padding on that, because that's a big concrete cylinder. Oh, he's lucky. Oh, he is lucky. His back wheel got caught on Edward Plankert's back wheel, and he went flying into the concrete cylinder, hands in the air like that, and he just hit the padding. So he's lucky in that way, and he's back up walking, which is good to see. I think Edward Plankert, he's way back off on the bike, but Marco Haller's he's just dandering about. He should get back on the bike. Yeah, he's back on the bike, and he will continue on, which is good. But back to the breakaway. So there's still riders I haven't mentioned in the breakaway. So Uno X, they're just showing that crash again. He's lucky. He is one lucky. But yes, both the Johannesson twins are involved in the breakaway. Tobias and Anders, they're both back in the breakaway. They were obviously very good there in the stage 14 it was, where Anders and Tobias Hall and Johannesson went up the road together. They're back in the Alpe d'Huez stage in the breakaway. Jayco, they've got 3 riders involved in the breakaway: Ben O'Connor, Felix Engelhardt, and Michael Matthews. So this is they're obviously going for Ben O'Connor here on Alpe d'Huez today. Mauro Schmidt seems to be done for the breakaways as of now. Valentin Paripantry, the polka dot jersey, he is he's second, but after the 2 climbs out today, he is now officially in the polka dot jersey as things stand. Net Company, they've got 3 riders in the breakaway, and hopefully they're able to pull something off. As I said it yesterday, they have been a team with no luck at all, but they've got Josh Tarling, Tobias Foss, and Timon Arnsman, so they're all going for Timon Arnsman today. 2 riders for Bahrain, Lenny Martinez and Tiberi. So Lenny Martinez is in the breakaway. He's 12.50 in GC. Tom Pidcock is not in this breakaway though. That will be Q36. They'll start riding at the front of the peloton then. Oh God, why? They'll start riding at some point. Astana have 1 rider, Harold Tahara. He's in the breakaway. Decathlon send 2 riders up the road. That's pretty interesting. Tish Benut and Matthew Riccatello are up the road for Decathlon. Then we've got EF Education sending 4 riders up the road yet again, but this time they're all together. Richard Carapaz, yesterday's stage winner, Alex Boudin, Ben Healy, and Sean Quinn. 4 very, very strong riders for the breakaway. Little Trek, they've got 4 riders up the road as well, and Mads Pedersen's involved yet again in this breakaway. That's another shock to me. He made it over the first 2 categorized climbs, and he's back in the breakaway. So they've got Vasek Simmons, Derek G, and Mads Pedersen. Red Bull have 1 rider up the road in Matteo Cataneo. Visma Lease Bike have 4 riders up the road: Bruno Amaral, Matteo Jorgensen, Seb Kuss, and Davide Peganzoli. That is some lineup for Visma to be sending up the road in the breakaway. They are obviously trying their best to get a stage win here. And then UAE have 1 rider up the road, that being Adam Yates. So it looks, as things stand, it looks like Adam Yates has gotten over his sickness. We'll have to see as the stage goes on. But obviously he's going to be providing that the UAE and obviously Red Bull as well, seeing their pulling, are able to bring the breakaway down. Adam Yates will be that satellite rider. I think that's also what Decathlon are teeing up for with Matthew Riccatello and Tish Benut potentially. I don't really see Cataneo being a satellite rider for Remco or anything, but Derek G could be one for Wana Yuso and Skelmuza, as well as Quinn Simmons and Vasek actually. So technically Little have near enough three satellite riders up the road. But apart from that, they would be the only satellite riders I would see. My prediction for the day, I went for Tadej Pogačar. I think Tadej Pogačar had this stage circled before the stage even started. He wants to win up the Alpe d'Huez, break Pantani's record, become the second person to win on Alpe d'Huez wearing the yellow jersey. He wants to break all the records today, and I think it'll be a massive muck up. Well, obviously it's not a muck up because UAE are struggling at the moment, but it'll be a massive blow to UAE if Tadej Pogačar doesn't win on top of the Alpe d'Huez. So that's who I went with. But then I also give a prediction. If it did come down to a breakaway, I also threw my hat in the ring for a prediction on it, and I went with Seb Kuss, and I'm glad to see him involved in this breakaway because I genuinely, Peganzoli's involved, but I think Seb Kuss is a bit stronger here when it comes to the Alpe d'Huez, so I think it'll be Seb Kuss going for the stage win for Visma Lease Bike. But at the front of the breakaway right now, Bruno Amaral, he's the one pacing at the moment. He's got a rider from Little Trek in behind him, which I think is going to be Derek G, because he's the only one. Derek G, there's 4 Little Trek riders, and Derek G's the only one wearing the actual Little Trek jersey. They're showing they've got your woman from TNT, Hannah Walker, on one of the corners from Alpe d'Huez, and the crowd. Have you seen the videos yesterday? Or last night even? at like 1 a.m. and stuff. Alpe d'Huez was absolutely bouncing. Absolutely bouncing. Fireworks and all, flares and all lighting off. Music pumping. It looked. I'm not gonna lie. I got serious FOMO from it. So it did, and it looks like it is going to be really really good today. Obviously, hopefully, there's no incidents where a fan hits a rider, but I think it is going to be a very very good day nonetheless. And I cannot wait to see Alpe d'Huez on this stage. Can't wait to see how it plays out. But hello, Kat. Hello. I've just seen that you've joined in. So hello, Kat. Reckons Valentine Power Panther would be probably in the points jersey today. That's I don't think so. I think well, I mean, if the breakaway goes up the road, it all depends on where he finishes, because Carapaz is also in the breakaway, and the virtual KOM jersey at the moment is currently do they have it on PCS? Yeah, so Power Panther is leading the KOM jersey with 84 points. Carapaz is in second with 74, and Tadej Pogacar is in third with 70. They've got a Category 2 climb coming up, which I expect Valentin Power Panther to sprint for. It's got 5 points, obviously, so if Valentin Power Panther wins that, he will go up to 70 or 89. I lost the points thing, so where'd it go? He'll go up to 89 points, yeah, so that means Carapaz is 15 points down, depending on where Carapaz finishes on the stage. Obviously, if Tadej Pogacar wins the stage, if Tadej Pogacar wins the stage and Valentin Power Panther doesn't finish in the top 10, Tadej Pogacar goes back into the polka dot jersey by 1 point, providing Power Panther wins this Category 2 climb coming up. So tell you what, the polka dot jersey battle is underway. It looks like the green jersey battle is slowly wrapping up, and the polka dot jersey battle is taking over, because Mads Pedersen's back in the breakaway. There's no Jasper Philipsen, and I sort of expect Mads Pedersen to win this intermediate sprint, so that would take him, I think he goes 57 points ahead of Jasper Philipsen, and that should wrap things up, provided Mads Pedersen stays on the bike. So I think the green jersey slowly but surely wrapping up, and the polka dot jersey starting to take over with the battle between Power Panther, Carapaz, and Tadej Pogacar's not really battling for it. He's winning stages and getting points for doing so, but it's more of a battle between Carapaz and Power Panther. So that's sort of taking over in the green jersey. But will Power Panther be in the polka dot jersey at the end of this stage? I'm going to go with no. I don't think he will. I think it'll either be Tadej Pogacar or Carapaz, because I think Carapaz, if the breakaway do end up staying away, I think Carapaz, but no, Tadej Pogacar is still going to finish in the top 10. But that doesn't get him enough points. I think Carapaz will finish high enough to will he? I'm going to go with Carapaz being in the polka dot jersey at the end of the stage. I will go with that one. So I will. Decathlon up the road is interesting. It is, Shelley. It is very interesting, especially they've sent the two main guys up the road as well. Obviously, Decathlon's Power Panther. He's been... that's the wrong person. I was thinking Nicola Prodom. He's been one of Paul Sex's main guys, but obviously Tish Benoit and Riccatello have also had a big part to play, and they're the two riders that have went up the road. So maybe Decathlon are thinking it's going to be a peloton or a GC day, and they've sent the two satellite boys up the road and left Power Panther Prodom with Paul Sexas. I think that's how that's playing out, but it's interesting that they've sent Tish Benoit and Riccatello up the road. So it is. Little Trek mob-handed at the front right now. Little Trek are bossing it. They are bossing this Tour de France just as the team in general. They have been the best team by far to watch. They've just literally every breakaway they've taken control of it. Well, the majority of the breakaways they've taken control of it. And they've also been doing really well, and obviously not the best compared to the UAE and stuff like that, but they've obviously been doing very well in the GC battles as well with Skelmuza and Juan Ayuso. So Little Trek have had the Tour de France on lockdown. So they have. What is the team classification looking like? Because the last time I even checked did they even have it on PCS? Because the last time I remember hearing it was like 24 minutes or something, and that was before Mathieu van der Poel stage. Do they have the team? They do have the team. So after stage 18, Little Trek is leading it by 22 minutes and 5 seconds. So I think Little Trek are going to be winning the team classification for this year's Tour de France, because UAE are currently on their knees at the moment. So the highest pro team in the team classification is Total Energies. They're ninth. And obviously the team at the bottom is going to be Picnic Post. Yikes. But Little Trek are leading the team classification. UAE are in second and Red Bull are in third. Where's Visma? They've dropped down to fifth. So I think Little Trek are wrapping up the team classification here, especially after this stage as well. But onto the Giro. Well, I'll catch up just quickly on the... I'm leaning into Tadej Stomp tomorrow, storming up the mountain, winning the yellow. Hopefully no change for Remco in second though. So you think... Yeah, so you think Tadej Pogacar is going to win today? He has... I should get a poll going quite soon actually, but... Bold pick. The same one. I'm assuming you mean the Seb Kuss pick, Rubber, if that's what you mean. But it is a very... Seb Kuss is a very solid pick, so it is. And I'm not just saying that because I picked him, I'm just saying it is because he's a very good climber and he's in the breakaway. It'll be a massive shock if we do get onto the Alpe d'Huez and Tadej Pogacar isn't solo on it. I think it'll be a massive shock to a lot of people watching, but it'll also be more exciting because obviously Tadej Pogacar is not leading it. A lot of people are expecting Tadej Pogacar to go on to win this one, but with his team failing it at the moment, it'll be a shock if he isn't there. We're back. Well, we were on a bit of a break there, but we are back. AF Education currently controlling the front off the breakaway at the moment. Visma Leasabike currently sat in second wheel with Bruno Amaral and Derek G in third wheel with Little Trek. Who's the rider for AF Education at the front? It's either going to be Alex Boudin or Sean Quinn. Ben Healy sat in fourth wheel. Small gap from Ben Healy to Derek G. Nothing major though. Then we've got a rider from Net Company in fifth wheel. Vasex in sixth wheel. Jorgensen 7th, Carapaz 8th, and then we've got Seb Kuss and Piganzoli 9th and 10th wheel, Tish Bennett and Riccatello in 11th and 12th wheel, and that's what the front of the breakaway is currently looking like. Everyone else just sort of in behind. Peloton is 3:37, so the time gap is increasing. The gap for Wellens to the Peloton is decreasing, as Wellens is now 1 minute and 10 seconds down. So could Wellens catch? I mean, if he does catch up, I don't really see how much help he's going to be honest, but we've got 27.7 kilometers to go until the intermediate sprint, which I don't expect to be contested, especially with Mads Pedersen up the road. But we've got 66 kilometers to go. I'm going to change it to 60 because I'll forget to change it again. Who's going to get mogged and who is going to get dropped today, says Empty. Who's going to get dropped? That's a hard one. That is a hard one. Will Remco get dropped? That's the question. That is probably the main question for the GC guys. Will Remco get dropped? I think he will get dropped, but I think he'll do, his pacing back and he'll salvage a bit of time. He's not going to lose a lot of time. The time gap between him and Isaac Del Toro is sitting... I can't actually see it because there's a line on my screen. Time gap between him and Isaac Del Toro is near enough 2 minutes, 1 minute and 50 something in and around that. Zenecat earlier, I've almost lost interest in the yellow jersey, but all the other leaders' jerseys have had me really invested and super interested. That's a fair point, because I mean a lot of people have sort of wrapped up the yellow jersey themselves, and but the green jersey's been brilliant. The polka dot jersey is starting to kick up now, and the white jersey is still separated by 20 seconds. So it's a very good. Every jersey's had its moments in this Tour de France, so it has. But the one with the least moments is obviously going to be the yellow jersey. I used to get dropped today. Little Trek don't give a damn about for their GC guys. If Juan Ayuso was able to pace himself, he hit a wall there on stage 15. That's why he dropped quite significantly, and Scalmo's and all was able to catch up, and then he did have that bit of an awful day there in the time trial on stage 16. So hopefully he's got into a bit of better form. But if not, you could potentially see Scalmuza overtake him in the GC because they're separated by less than a minute. So that's another battle to keep an eye on, the battle between the teammates. They're doing an interview with Seb Kuss here. I want to see what he's saying. He's just saying he doesn't want to finish the tour with any regrets, so he obviously knows deep down he wants to win this one. So he does. Front of the cameras on the front, and Red Bull are pacing. Why are Red Bull pacing? Who is challenging them in the breakaway? Niels Pollitt's back to the front, but Red Bull are pacing alongside UAE, so Red Bull are pretty much just giving Tadej Pogačar the win if they are brought back. The gap is 3:45 at the moment. It has been going up slightly, but it is stabilising at 3:45. Tim Wellens is up to 5 minutes now, so I think something's happened with him, and I think he's done. Visma now have 2 riders at the front of the breakaway, so maybe they've been told that Red Bull want them back. I think they've got Jorgensen and Bruno Amaral at the front. Yates is looking much better. Agreed, Shelley. He is looking a lot better. I think Taddy is, because they're not really getting a big gap. Oh, you think Taddy's winning the stage? That's alright. I thought you meant Taddy's getting dropped empty. I thought that's where you were going with that. Good morning, Poker. Hello, hello. Hello, Foland? Is that's the word I'm gathering? Maybe the and is actually the foal is the word. I don't know which word to go with in your name, but hello anyway. I think Little just knows that they don't need to mind Ayuso and Scalmuza. They just need to stay in the bunch, and I think Scalmuza and Ayuso are they do work well together, so they do. So maybe they're able to pace each other up the top of the climb and still remain in the same positions. But they also have to worry about Lenny Martinez as well, because he's in the breakaway. He is 2 minutes and 40 seconds, 2 minutes and 36 seconds down on Scalmuza, so they're going to need to be careful of Lenny Martinez and the gap there. So maybe Little Trek start to go to the front, but they can't because their whole team's in the breakaway. So I don't know what Little Trek are going to do there if Lenny Martinez decides to attack. Obviously, they're going to hope that they catch him, or they're going to hope that he cracks at some point. But Pidcock is going to... I bet you at some point Q36 go to the front to try and bring Lenny Martinez back. Little can't go to the front. So they can't... Decathlon's not going to go to the front. They've Riccatello up the road. I don't know why Red Bull are at the front, because they're not going to win the stage. I think they should have known that they're not going to win the stage, so I don't see why they're pacing alongside UAE to help Tadej Pogačar win the stage. Maybe there's a deal. We pace and bring them back, and Tadej Pogačar can win the stage as long as Isaac Del Toro doesn't attack Remco Evenepoel. Maybe there's a bit of a deal going on. But apart from that, I can't understand why they are pacing at the front. Red Bull have got 6 riders at the front. The front of the peloton is Niels Pollitt and 6 Red Bull riders. Then there's Grosschartner, Pogačar, Isaac Del Toro, and then we've got the Decathlon team. So that's what the front of the peloton is looking like. They're actually going up to 4 minutes now, so they're losing time. They're going to hit the 4 minute mark here quite soon. 60 kilometers exactly to go now. 60 kilometers to go, and we've got 46 kilometers until Alpe d'Huez. Here's the Remco Evenepoel interview. They just asked how his legs are. He says, I can't answer that because I'm not on the bike. Just catching up on the chat. Rooting for Tadej, Saxas, Isaac today. I've eaten enough words about Remco. They can probably crush him on the steeps today. So no love for Remco for rubber. I really like watching Taddy on his solo attacks. So there we go. We've got someone who actually likes to watch the solo attacks. Visma, I've just missed the Visma radio, but I think they were just saying that they like the pace that they're currently setting in the breakaway. They like the way things are going. Skelly's had a heck of a tour, especially with having to fight Ayuso for leadership. I tell you what, that time trial from Skelmoza has really, really impressed me. And I've said a couple times it wouldn't surprise me if he does overtake Ayuso in the GC. Really want the breakaway reeled in just for my boy Tom Pidcock, says Nick. Tom Pidcock back-to-back stages in the Tour de France, or the back-to-back stages on Alpe d'Huez. Is it possible? I mean, or I'm assuming you mean for the GC. Unless you think Tom Pidcock is going to go back-to-back on Alpe d'Huez. He's got no well, he's got the descent of the Col de Ornon, but I don't think it's as steep as the Galibier, the one in 2022 where he descended like a motorcyclist down that road. Great stuff. I was hoping to be back for the Alp, and it looks like I am. A breakaway this huge and no Total Energies or Picnic in there. Unbelievable. I don't even know who you would send up the road for Picnic Post. Have no clue. They don't have the team. They just haven't been good this Tour de France, and they don't have the team to back it up. The only glimmer of hope they had for the Tour was Pavel Bittner, and he picked up a 5th in one of the stages. But apart from that, I haven't seen him at all. Has anyone dropped out for Picnic Post, or are they all still remaining? Beasterboss, he dropped out before the end of second week, but Pavel Bittner, like Warren Barguil and John Degenkolb, I don't want to say I love them both as cyclists, but I think that's a bit. I don't understand why they're. I'm not saying anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'll just leave it at that. I love Barguil and John Degenkolb, so do. Managed to get in connection, but might not be around for the whole stage. No problem then, but hello anyways. Did Kuss make it into the breakaway? Seb Kuss did make it into the breakaway. We've got a breakaway of 42 riders, and I will go through them again in a short bit of time just to give everyone a refresher of who is involved in this breakaway. They're afraid that they might have to use Luke Tuckwell in the next tour if they don't get enough exposure. That must be it. If Tom goes back to back, I will lose my mind. If Tom Pidcock goes back to back on Alpe d'Huez, that'll be and beats Tadej Pogačar from the peloton, that would be crazy. That would be insane. How did Mads do in the intermediate? The intermediate hasn't happened yet. We've still got 19 kilometers to the intermediate sprint. However, Mads Pedersen is involved in the front breakaway. So, as things stand, there's no one in the breakaway that is going to. There's no Alpecin rider, so they're not going to challenge him that way. And I don't expect anyone else to challenge him at all for the points. So, I mean, it looks like Mads Pedersen is going to be taking another 25 points provided he stays on his bike. Good morning, Steve. Hello. Barguil, my man. Caja did show, they showed quite a lot in the first couple of stages with Molinar. And then I also seen there yesterday on Twitter that apparently Berwick, who is involved in the breakaway today, apparently he was suffering from illness in the first 2 weeks. So it's good to see him out in the breakaway here in the third week. But I think the sickness, I don't think the sickness is going to allow him to do what he wants to do. $50 to go. Mads and most of the trek still at the front. Adam Blythe is saying that he thinks Bora and the UAE have come to an agreement to consolidate Remco's second spot. That's why they are riding so hard. Aye. Marco Haller makes it back to the peloton after his crash earlier on. But if that is If that, I seen Adam Blythe on the bike there. I was reading up in the chat, so I never got to properly listen to him. But if there is a day, I don't agree with that now. I think it should be left to UAE because I mean, if it was if Remco Evenepoel was in the yellow jersey and Tadej Pogacar was in second place and the roles reversed, I'm telling you, UAE would not be making agreements to consolidate Pogacar's second place. UAE would be going all out. So I if there is some agreement there, I strongly disagree with it, and I would leave UAE to their own devices in that one. Saw Tadej in black shorts on this morning instead of the skin suit. I seen that yesterday as well. Maybe he's I don't know why he would swap. Maybe the yellow was for him feeling 100%, and now he's got the black ones on because he doesn't feel 100%, and he's not there. Oh, abandon Eduardo Affini abandons the race from Visma Lease bike. So he does. But as for the black short situation, maybe he's not feeling 100% and he doesn't want to rep the full yellow. We'll find out at the end of today's stage if he is feeling 100% or not, or if the potential sickness has hit him, because we'll not know if the sickness has hit Tadej Pogacar or not until after the tour. That's when that will all come out. No one can understand why Bora is riding so hard, and neither can I. It genuinely makes no sense why Red Bull are riding so hard and helping UAE, because Red Bull have nothing, like literally nothing to gain from this. I would understand if Q36 were at the front. They don't want Lenny to get too far away from Pidcock, seeing he's 8 seconds behind. But apart from that, I don't understand why anyone is, or why Red Bull are riding. Apparently, yes, Shelley. Apparently. Allegedly is the word. Allegedly. How do you think Paul Sexas will do today on the final climb? I think Paul Sexas will be swarmed like a Greek god on the Alpe d'Huez. I think when they see him on the course, I think the screams when everyone else passes will be something. But when they see Paul Sexas, there'll be that extra bit of roar, and I think he's going to do well. I hope he doesn't crack. I hope he doesn't crack in the Alpe d'Huez. That'll be a big blow, because he's been doing so well all this Tour de France, and the crack on the king of all climbs in the Tour de France would be a bit of a blow to him. But I think he's still going to do well. I think he's going to just do as usual. I think he'll be able to. Will he be? Oh, I forgot about that. He dropped on stage. Dropped on stage 15. So will he be able to keep up? Will he be able to keep up if Tadej Pogacar paces for Del Toro? Maybe Tadej Pogacar paces for Del Toro for a bit, and then he a solo attack so that Del Toro gets the gap on Sexas, and then Tadej Pogacar goes solo, and then Del Toro has to sort it out himself. In that case, you could probably see Paul Sexas come back, because we did see him come back on Jonas Vingegaard on stage 14. But will he be? I'm gonna say Paul Sexas will be able to stick with Isaac Del Toro. Will Paul Sexas be in the white jersey? I want them to be. I think it would be brilliant to see him in the white jersey. Again, he only got to hold it for the one day, and he was the youngest person to ever put on a distinctive jersey in the Tour de France. And I think, will he get the white jersey after today's stage? 20 seconds is the gap. I've said Carapaz is going to go into the polka dot. I'm going to say Sexas will not be in the white jersey. I don't want to say all the jerseys are going to change, because I don't think they are all going to change. Well, I mean, the two that have a possibility of changing. I'll say Sexas still remains second, but will I go for a gap? I'll say Paul Sexas gets 10 seconds on Del Toro today. I'll say that. I'll go for that one. I don't know why 10 seconds. I don't think he'll go into the white, but I think he'll gain time on Del Toro today. Where was I on the chat? I was there. That's where it was. You do get such agreements made leader to leader. Black shorts equals... That's also a fair point, Shelley. Visma had a weird start in the neutral start, if anyone else noticed. I did notice that, Kat. As an American, I think I need to work bollocks into my vocabulary. It's a very good word to use, so it is. Red Bull Remco going for the win. They think UAE is weak. If that is what they're going for, I mean, if they pull it off, like that is going to be like the heist of the century. But I mean, fair play to them. They do have a set of bollocks on them for doing that and going toe to toe with UAE, especially Tadej Pogacar. Tadej can win this tour even if he out pedals on the toilet bowl. Hello, breakaway. Hello. But we're back to the race. There was a bit of a break there. We've now got 50 kilometers to go. 50 kilometers left. 36 kilometers until the foot of Alpe d'Huez. 11.3 kilometers until the intermediate sprint. The peloton is now 4 minutes and 16 seconds down on the breakaway. So it is looking very good for the breakaway here. Obviously, Tadej Pogacar did have the opportunity to, and Jonas Vingegaard as well, they had the opportunity to win it in 2022, and they never had the breakaway won it then. We return again in 2026, and it looks as though, as things stand, the breakaway are looking pretty good for this one. I'm not sure how much time the breakaway does need hitting the foot of the Alpe d'Huez in order for, because Tadej Pogacar is a monster, so I don't know how much time they're going to need, but I think 4 minutes would be pretty good. It would definitely give them a massive advantage. But Tim Wellens, he's 6 minutes and 33 down. So that's 2 minutes and 15 down on the peloton. He's went from under a minute to over 2 minutes now. So I doubt he's going to catch up. I will get a poll going. I'll get a poll going now. Breakaway, just seen that at the bottom, but I have got quite a lot of chat to catch up on. Stage 19 winner. Pogacar. Who else will I go with? Tadej Pogacar. I'll just add Remco in there. Remco can go in for the laugh. As for the break, I have not a clue who to pick from that breakaway. I'll just do breakaway, and then I will do other. I will go over who is in the breakaway in a second here, and then I'll also go who's potentially going to be winning from the breakaway. I'll go over that as well, but I want to go over the jerseys just quickly. But there is a poll out now. If you want to go and vote on the poll, I've got Tadej Pogacar as an option. I've got Remco Evenepoel as an option, seeing Red Bull are feeling very confident today. I've got the breakaway as an option as well. If you are voting for the breakaway, let me know down below in the comments who you are voting for, or who you think it is going to be from the breakaway. But as for the jerseys, let me get just quick run through the jerseys. Obviously, Richard Carapaz won yesterday. It's on your right-hand side of your screen, so he moves into 10th. He's now 21 minutes down rather than 25 minutes down. Points jersey, now this is after yesterday when Mads Pedersen went up the road and won the intermediate sprint. He's got an intermediate sprint here to hopefully comfortably win in 10 kilometers. He's now in 477. It was a 7 point gap. He was in 452, but after winning the 25 points yesterday, he's now in 477. If he wins the points today, that means he's going to go on to 502 points. So I think he'd be pretty clear from Jasper Philipsen. The KOM jersey, that's what it looked like before the stage, but as things stands, Valentin Paripantry is on 84 points. Richard Carapaz is on 79. I think it's something like that. And Tadej Pogacar is still on 70. They've got a Category 2 climb with 5 points up for grabs here in a wee while, so we'll see how that goes. As for the white jersey, still the same. Isaac Del Toro leads it. Paul Seix has 20 seconds down, and Juan Ayuso is 2 minutes and 31 seconds down. Lenny Martinez might actually gain some time on Juan Ayuso if he's able to stay in the breakaway. He could potentially go into third. They've got the camera back on the Alpe d'Huez, and the crowd yet again is going absolutely crazy. The guy with the microphone, the interviewer, has been sworn by the crowd, and they're all jumping around. Very good. Astana, tailwind all the way to the Alpe d'Huez. It's looking really good. Harold, situation's really good. Over 4 minutes now, back to the peloton. Over 4 minutes. Grande Harold. So that is the message from the Astana team card to the solo Astana rider up the road in Harold Tejada. Astana, they think it's a good. They think the breakaway are looking good for the potential win. Obviously, with all of the Astana team there, you would want, if there was one rider you wanted in the breakaway for this one, it would be Harold Tejada. He got second in stage 13. He was obviously in that the 2-man sprint against Mauro Schmidt, so he'd be looking for a win, and he'd be looking for a massive win on Alpe d'Huez. As for the favourites of the stage, though, I'll get back to that. That is what, I turn it off, of course. That is what the favourites for the stage 19 of the Tour de France is looking like. Tadej Pogacar, the main favourite by quite some margin. Richard Carapaz is the second favourite. Seb Kuss, third favourite. Then we've got Remco, Isaac Del Toro, Sexas, Arensman, Piganzoli, Tom Pidcock, and Lenny Martinez. By looking at that, the bookies think it is going to be, obviously with the odds being low of Tadej Pogacar, they think it's going to be Tadej Pogacar winning it. But with the out of the top 10, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 riders there that are, could be in the breakaway. Lenny Martinez, Pidcock, Piganzoli, Arensman, Seb Kuss, and Carapaz. So the odds are in the favour of Tadej Pogacar, but the amount of riders that, in the top 10 are favouring a breakaway. So I'll leave the favourites up there for a meantime. But as for the riders in the breakaway, we still have 42. No one has dropped yet. We're still in the valley. I forgot there. Eduardo Affini, if you are just joining, Eduardo Affini he's abandoned Visma Lease Bike. He's abandoned the Tour de France. So Visma Lease Bike are going to be down to 6 riders now after losing Jonas Vingegaard in stage 15. They've now lost Eduardo Affini as well, but they've got 4 riders up the road here, and they're looking pretty comfortable. 42 riders in the breakaway. Berwick of Caja Real, he's involved. Voissard and Michael Storr of Tudor, they are in the breakaway. Pascher, Guillaume Martin, and Braz Afonso of Groupama, they are in the breakaway. Pinarello Q36.5 have 1 rider, that being Damien Housen. Ian Izagiri of Cofidis, he's involved. Movistar have 4 riders. Einar Rubio, Javier Romo, Raul Garcia Pierna, and Pablo Castillo. NSN have 2 up the road, and George Bennett and Marco Frigo. The Johannesson twins are up the road for Uno X. Jayco have sent 3 riders. No Mauro Schmidt, no Luke Platt, but they do have Felix Engelhardt, Michael Matthews, and Ben O'Connor. Valentin Paripantry, the now virtual KOM jersey leader, he's involved in this breakaway. Ned Company have 3 riders. 1 proper rouleur, 1 rouleur / actually surprisingly good climber this Tour de France, and Tobias Foss. But they've got Josh Tarding, Tobias Foss, and Arensman in the breakaway. Bahrain have 2 riders of Antonio Tiberi and Lenny Martinez. Astana, like we spoke about, he's the solo rider for Astana in this breakaway. Decathlon, 2 riders up the road. 2 riders that I thought, at the start of the stream I said it was a surprise to me, with Matthew Riccatello and Tish Benoit being in this breakaway for Decathlon. Ben Healy has dropped from the group. I was just getting on the EF Education, and they've went from 4 to 3. So the breakaway is now down to 41 riders, as Ben Healy has dropped out the back of this breakaway. And EF Education have 3 riders remaining, in Sean Quinn, Alex Bodin, and Richard Carapaz. Little Trek have 4 riders in this breakaway: Vasek, Quinn Simmons, Mads Pedersen, and Derek G. Red Bull have 1 rider in Cataneo. Visma Lease Bike have 4 riders: Piganzoli, Seb Kuss, Matteo Jorgensen, and Bruno Amoral. And then to wrap things up, Adam Yates is the sole rider for UAE in this breakaway. Maybe Adam Yates has went up the road to infect everyone else with his illness. Maybe that was the game plan. But I will quickly catch up on the chat, because I have missed quite a lot. So I will just skim through it, see if anything just pops out. That's where I was. I'm on a break at the moment, so I can't really see what's going on in the climb. What's going on in the race? Oh, what did I just kick there? I just kicked something. Breakaway thinks it looks good for the breakaway. Tadej needs to forget about Del Toro, says Steve. That is going to be obviously, when Tadej was the domestique for stage 15, there was the talking point: is he going to stay domestique, or is he going to go solo? The question will be answered today. So will Steve be right in Tadej forgetting about Del Toro and going up the road? Page, seriously, Tadej wouldn't make a deal with Red Bull if things were reversed, because he would know how he can easily drop Remco for 5 minutes. Remco isn't dropping Pogacar at all, so he better make a deal. But where Steve, I agree, Tadej needs to go alone. Tadej lost stage 15 because of Del Toro. He wanted to go and was told not to. Can we? That's the last thing I said was or seen breakaway was saying, can we get a poll? Tadej said he wants Abdia's record. Best way to do that is to be at the front of the race. Otherwise, camera bikes and cars get in the way. Cars get in the way. Think he's all in for tomorrow. I think he's all in for this stage and tomorrow. I think he wants the double. I think Tadej Pogacar wants to be the first rider to win on the. Obviously, I'm sure the history book's probably dating back to like the early 1900s. There's probably someone who has won back to back on the Alpe d'Huez, but for recent memory, Tadej Pogacar wants to be the first rider ever, or first rider in quite some time, to win back-to-back on the Alpe d'Huez. Too many fans now keeping up with our balls in the chat. Downhill off the Col d'Arnon will be decisive for the breakaway. It's technical, and UAE or Red Bull won't risk it there. Breakaway guys will have to. Thank you for that. The cycling guy PT is what I'm getting from that. But thanks for that. If it is technical, I will be definitely keeping an eye on that one, as TNT are showing the Live Golf. I don't really want to watch the golf. I'd rather watch Alpe d'Huez. But thanks for trying to entice me with that one. Breakaways voting for Mads for the win. History breaking win for Mads Pedersen. Steve think Pidcock is getting it. We are back. We've got 42.6 kilometers to go as Josh Tarling is dropping off the breakaway now. I'm just catching up. I'm trying to catch up on the chat here. It's going too quick. Pidcock can't win. Froome isn't there to help him. He wants to win as much as Carapaz did yesterday. Visma are looking wrecked for the rest of the season, I fear. I think I've seen something come out that Jonas Vingegaard isn't going to race for the rest of the season, which, I mean, wouldn't surprise me. He's rode 4 back-to-back Grand Tours, so I think if there's someone who deserves a break, it's going to be Jonas. Unfortunately, NBC only does 25 minutes on YouTube. Edited the other 2.5 hours. Wout is going to boss the Vuelta. Don't forget, Matthew Brennan's also going to the Vuelta a España. They're going to be two forces to keep an eye on in the sprint stages and the breakaway stages. Kelly saying hopefully not too many drunk fans on the climb. Don't want anyone brought down. 100%. That would be a historic moment, and obviously not a historic moment for the good, for the bad. If God forbid a fan, jumps out on the road and the GC guys are just starting their attacks and one comes off the bike, it would just completely ruin the whole race. So they've been partying from probably about 6. They've been partying for like the past 24 hours. So hopefully they're all on a hangover. But with the footage that was coming through, it doesn't look it. But hopefully they are able to stay respectful and they're able to make it look a spectacle and not have it become a spectacle in all the wrong ways. Shelley shopping's arriving soon. The worst time for shopping to arrive. I wonder why Remco is so strong in the time trial but can't climb with Tadej in the mountains, because Tadej is just a complete and utter different beast. And there we go, Q36 have now entered the front of the peloton, like I thought they would with Lenny Martinez being up the road. So they have sent one rider to the front of the peloton. So now we've got 3 teams at the front chasing down this breakaway. Red Bull, confusingly, Red Bull are there, but UAE and Q36 are also involved in bringing this gap down. It's still over 4 minutes. The usual helicopter shot of the peloton, and you can't see them because of the trees. I love that. That's my favorite shot. But the peloton are 4 minutes and 22 seconds down. They've still got Wellens' time up at 7 minutes and 46 seconds. I think it's obviously going to be there for the potential time cut. He just made the time cut yesterday by 2 minutes. Will he be able to make the time cut tomorrow, or will UAE lose yet another guy? I think Adam Yates was able to overcome the sickness. He's involved in the breakaway, although I don't think he's going to be doing a lot of work because there are 39 other riders in the breakaway. So I'm not sure if he's 100% overcame the sickness, but it doesn't look like Wellens has yet. Where is the sprinters' points line? So it is in 1.9 kilometers. So that is how far until the intermediate sprint for the front of the race. They've got 40 kilometers to go, so I should change that because it still says 50. So with 39k to go, we should be hitting the line for the intermediate sprint. And we could potentially be seeing Mads Pedersen increases gap to 40 or 57 or 50, I was going to say seconds, 57 points on Jasper Philipsen, which obviously is not. I would have liked it to come down to the final stage for the battle between them, but I mean, with the performances Mads Pedersen is putting on, especially yesterday and today as well, with the two, he's had to overcome two big climbs at the start of especially that Category 1 climb today. That was a 7.3 kilometers long and 8.4% averages. So I'm very surprised that Mads Pedersen was able to overcome both the start of the two stages there, and he's still in the breakaway. So fair play to him. Heard there are extra barriers for crowd control. That would make a lot of sense, Kat. It wouldn't surprise me. You always see the police and all at the side of the road as well, so we're going to see that, and we're probably going to see some guy get absolutely knocked out by a policeman, because you always see the policeman like run up the road and like throw someone out of the crowd or push them back into the crowd. So I'm expecting to see that as well. I'm expecting to see someone run up the road naked, because we had someone do that the other day in a thong. They ran up the road, so it wouldn't surprise me if someone else tries to do that. God knows what we're going to see up this climb with the crowds. I don't even know what to prepare for. But we're into the final kilometre for the intermediate sprint. 800 metres to go, and Little Trek have taken over the front with Derek G, Quinn Simmons, Vasek and Mads Pedersen. If anyone tries to contest Mads Pedersen for these 25 points, they're obviously having a joke. But I don't expect them to, and I expect Little Trek to finish first, second, third and fourth in this intermediate sprint. Actually, no, Michael Matthews seems to be on the wheel of Mads Pedersen here. So maybe Michael Matthews can test him, but that's a bit odd. Maybe Michael Matthews just wants to win an intermediate sprint. As Vasek now opens up the sprint, it is Michael Matthews on the wheel of Mads Pedersen, so he is going to contest him here. We're going to get a wee two-man sprint between Pedersen and Matthews. 500 metres, I think, and Mads Pedersen opens up the sprint and Michael Matthews doesn't go. Why did I get my hopes up for that? Mads Pedersen doesn't even get out of the saddle. He just takes the second place. And he's... where is Michael Matthews in the points? How far does he go up if he had 20 points onto that? Let me see. Points jersey. Michael Matthews is currently... You're joking. Michael Matthews is sat in 25th. And he moves up to 19th. Wow. 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 There's Jorgensen now. Jorgensen has dropped out the back off the breakaway. So is Derek G. So with the breakaway is slowly but surely losing riders, and the riders that they are losing are riders I wouldn't have expected them to lose. I wouldn't have expected Jorgensen to drop so soon, and Derek G. or Ben Healy. I would have expected Josh Tarling to drop but Michael Matthews with the arm round Mads Pedersen. We high five as well between them. Maybe Michael Matthews is congratulating them on the green jersey 2 stages in advance. I'll actually get on to Mads Pedersen's green jersey in a second. So I will. Is the point sprint done? It is just finished. Mads Pedersen wins, taking 25 points, and he's going to increase his gap on Jasper Philipsen to 57 points. So he does. As he now goes on to 507 points, and Jasper Philipsen still in second. Actually, is it? Yeah, it is 57 points. Actually, is it 507? I think it's 505. I'll wait for PCS to update it, but it's in and around there. It's definitely over the 500 mark anyway. For the first time ever watching a race with Tadej, if he doesn't go and win this stage, I will be mad. I mean, I'm not going to be mad. I think I'll be more shocked that he doesn't go on to win it. Maybe it's like one of them, the curses, that it's just something he can't go on to win. He had the opportunity in 2022 alongside Jonas Vingegaard to contest it, but they never got it. Maybe the same thing's going to happen again today, but the peloton is 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Tadej Pogacar's still going to have a massive attack left in him, depending on how he feels. We don't know how he's going to feel with the sickness going about his team. Maybe they're trying to keep it under the wraps. Mohoric, he has dropped out of the peloton with a mechanical. Valentin Paripantry drops out of the breakaway. So he's not going to contest for the 5 points, but we're almost hitting the foot off the second to last climb. The wee teaser. the wee teaser before the Alpe d'Huez. There's one more climb to go. And then we've got the descent, which the cycling guy PT said is going to be a very technical one and is going to be crucial in whether the breakaway are able to stay up the road or not. Are there any Alpecin riders to try and take points from Mads? There weren't any, Lynn. There was none involved in the break. If I was in the break, I would stay clear of Yates. You're telling me, Steve, I would be trying to stay as far away as possible from him. It's a Borat Mankini. Well, my bad. Mankini, I'll go with that one then. So basically any Newcastle weekend, right? Yeah, Jorgensen did go deep yesterday, so he did. I'm just surprised to see him drop off because, you know, Carapaz, Johannes, and they were involved yesterday, so was Engelhardt. But Jorgensen did put in quite a lot of attacks yesterday, and we're also seeing Valentin Parpantre drop off as well, so he's another one that was involved yesterday, so we are seeing the effects of yesterday start to kick in for the riders that were involved in the breakaway that are involved again today. Let me check. Let me have a quick check on the poll. Is 77% think Tadej Pogacar is going to win it. 4% think Remco Evenepoel is going to win it. 17% have went for the breakaway. So not a lot of confidence in this breakaway here. And 2% have went for other. We've reached the Castrillo head bobbing stage or the phase of this stage. That's when you know it's getting hard. I think the goal was to get Jorgensen to help across the flat for Sepp. Yeah, we did see Jorgensen helping Bruno Amaral on the valley there before the intermediate sprint, so it looks like he has done his job. But Visma Lease Bike are now down to 3 riders in the breakaway. Who is the most? Movistar still have 4 riders. Yeah, so Movistar have the most. Little Trek had 4, AF Education had 4, and Visma Lease Bike had 4. They're all now down to 3. And Movistar remain with the same 4 riders and the most riders from the same team in the breakaway. The riders or the teams with 3 in the breakaway are going to be Visma, Little, AF Education, Jayco, Net Company are down to 2 because they lost Josh Tarling, and Groupama, they have also got 3. So we've got quite a lot of teams with quite a lot of teammates to burn in it as well. Maybe Tadej Carapaz knew behind podium yesterday that he wasn't going to go for it today. Possibly. He probably could have possibly said to him that I'm not going to go for it and you could fancy your chances again tomorrow. But we've got the front off we're on the foot of the climb, I think. We're on the foot of the climb as AF Education are ripping it up on the front, and I think it is going to be Sean Quinn on the front of this breakaway. He's out of the saddle, putting in a massive effort, and we're seeing a lot of guys drop off. I did see Felix Engelhardt drop off there. I didn't actually. There was a Groupama rider as well involved in the drop off, but the AF Education rider, I'm assuming, is Sean Quinn. He pulls off from the side, and he might actually drop out of the breakaway now. But you can see the Alps in the distance. They are getting closer and closer to the Alps, and we're almost getting to the main event here. I'm so excited for that. I cannot wait to see what happens on the Alps. Another historic day, and the first time we're seeing them since 2022. And we've had countless historic moments on the Alps over the years. And hopefully we get another historic moment here. There we go. Who was it? It was Alex Boudin that put in that effort for AF Education, not Sean Quinn. So Alex Boudin's day's done as he drops out the back. Anyone else dropping out the back? Because I did see quite a lot. And they're at the foot of the climb now. So the climb they're on now, Category 2 climb, 5.4 kilometers long and has an average of 6.2%. As Movistar, are now at the front. They're drilling it up this climb. They know they've riders to burn and they're going to burn them, especially with the peloton being 4 minutes and 20. They want to increase that to possibly 5 minutes. Will they be able to do that? I highly doubt it with 3 teams chasing them down, but 2 of the teams have only got like 1 rider at the front, with another team having their full team to burn. But I don't think the team with the full team want to burn their full team because they're the team that is not as good compared to Tadej Pogacar. But there's another rider dropping off the back. That is going to be, who was it alongside Jonas Vossard? I can't actually remember. Michael Storr, that's who it was. So Michael Storr dropped. No, it's not. It's Mark Hirschi. Wait, what? What is going on? The breakaways. Or is this the peloton? I think it's the peloton as Mark Hirschi's dropping off the peloton potentially. I don't really know where we're at in the race, but they're back to Adam Blythe as he's having a conversation with Bahrain. I'm just seeing what's going to be said here. I don't know. They're taking forever to speak. Michael Matthews drops out of the breakaway now. We're going to see a lot of people drop here now. We're down to 33 on PCS, but I think we're a lot less in the actual race. Ben O'Connor drops, so there's every single Jayco rider dropping out of the breakaway. It's not going to be their day today, as Ben O'Connor, Michael Matthews and Felix Engelhardt all drop out of the breakaway. Yikes. Yikes. Front of the breakaway at the moment, we have got Bruno Amaral still there. This is some performance from Bruno Amaral at the front of the breakaway. He does not want UAE to have their day. He wants Visma Leasebike to have their fun. Movistar sat in second wheel, and then we've got Tobias Foss and Arnsman in third and fourth wheel as well. Vasek's dropping out the back of the breakaway. So is Mads Pedersen. So is potentially, well, one of the Johannesson brothers is dropping out. Is it Johannesson or is it Johannesson? Is it Tobias or is it Anders? There's Tim Wellens crossing the intermediate sprint line now. So that's how far down he is. But the breakaway is all over the road at the moment, and we're finally shaving it down to potentially 10-ish riders. I can't actually see what the breakaway looks like, but it does look like they're all over the road. Someone from Movistar drops off the back there, being Pablo Castrillo. Raul Garcia Pierna's also dropped off. Quinton Pasha, Mark Hirschi was involved in the breakaway. That was him that dropped off. Anders Hallen Johannesson, he's alongside Vasek and Mads Pedersen dropping off the back. Anyone else that I have missed? No, not yet. So we're down to 25 riders at the moment, according to PCS. With Bruno Amaral still ripping it up this climb. 3.7 kilometers until the top. 32.5 kilometers until the end of the stage. Valentin Paripandri's 3 minutes and 15 down and growing. But the peloton is 4 minutes and 20 down, and it is staying steady as Howson. Damien Howson of Q36. He drops off the back of the peloton. So does George Bennett. So does Adam Yates. Adam Yates is dropping off the back of the breakaway here. He's got a rider from Bahrain in front of him. That rider is Lenny Martinez? No, Taberi. I thought that was a 1. It was a 7. Oh, pardon me. Taberi and Adam Yates both drop off the back. There's another Groupama rider struggling at the back there, which I think is Guillaume Martin. He's towards the back. Tish Benut, or is it Tish Benut? One of the decathlon riders is at the back of the breakaway as well, struggling to hang on. But we've got Derek G now being swept up by the peloton. Florian Vermeer still at the front. I mean, I tell you what, Florian Vermeer, she's putting in a performance of a lifetime here, because we've barely seen him this late into a stage, especially a mountain stage, but he's had to step up, as it's only him and Niels Pollitt that are able to do something. And it is potentially working for UAE. It is still, I mean, Derek G drops back to the peloton and he goes straight to the front of the peloton to bring the breakaway back. What is going on? Is Tobias Foss going to come around the side of Bruno Amaral and take over duties at the front? I don't think he is. 3.1 kilometers to the top, and the breakaway is tiny now. It is a lot smaller than it was at 39-ish before we hit this climb, and now we're down to 21. Guillaume Martin is the next one to drop, so we're going to go down to 20 riders in this breakaway. The last couple riders, Clement Brazafonso, Ian Izagiri, Harold Tejada, and Tish Benut are the 4 riders at the back of the breakaway at the moment. Jonas Vossard. How many Tudor riders are involved in this breakaway? I'm a bit confused with what's going on with Tudor at the moment, but there's still 2 Tudor riders, Jonas Vossard being one of them. I think Michael Storr is another one, but I didn't realise Mark Hirschi was involved in the breakaway to begin with. Lynn, getting close to 1,000. Yes, we are. So if just thought I'd do it now. If you are new, don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe as well. I'm going to be live for stage 20 and stage 21. We're aiming for 1,000 subscribers for the end of the Tour de France. So if you do subscribe, it's much appreciated. But yeah, subscribe, join the community, get involved in the chat. Watch along with the end of the Tour de France with myself and everyone in the chat as well. But it is still Bruno Amaral at the front. This is some performance from Bruno Amaral. 2.7 kilometers to go until the top of this Category 2 climb, the Col de Ornon, and then we're on to the descent. Then we've got about a couple kilometers after the descent until the main event. Is Pidcock still in the break? Pidcock isn't in the break. Pidcock was never in the break. He only had one. There was only one Q36 rider in the break, and it was Damien Howson. That was the only Q36 rider involved in the break. Q36 are pacing at the front of the peloton for Pidcock because they have a danger man of Lenny Martinez up the road. He's only 8 seconds in front. There's Asterix and Obelix. I can't remember which one's which, but there's a guy at the side of the road. I think he's dressed as Obelix. But I don't know. I just caught me off guard there. I haven't seen them since first year in high school. In French, but Q36 are at the front of the peloton alongside UAE Lidl and Red Bull, but Q36, like I said, Lenny Martinez is up the road. He's beaten Tom Pidcock by 8 seconds in the GC, so Q36 want Lenny Martinez back, is what I'm trying to say. 4 minutes isn't enough for the breakaway, or even 6. I genuinely don't know how much time the breakaway is going to need, especially with Tadej Pogačar chasing you down in the form he's in. But the breakaway is getting smaller and smaller as we have Sean Quinn drop off the back. Peganzoli has dropped off the back, so 2 riders left for Visma. Bruno Amaral, he's not going to last long. And then Seb Kuss. 1.9 kilometers until the top of the climb as Michael Storer and Janis Vossar drop out the back of the breakaway alongside Clement Brazafonso. So we're going to go down to 16 riders now in this breakaway. Tell you he's looking pretty good. Aronsman. That's something in my... Aronsman is looking very, very good. He's looking fairly comfortable there in P3 in the breakaway. I've missed quite a lot in the chat. Just quickly skim through it. Time for a reality check. Stuff happens, then Tadej Pogačar just wins the stage. Well put, Cap. Well put. Lenny low-key navigating the breakaway group and getting a stage win here. The scenes. I mean, I've worked out a fact on my own. I'm no surprise. I never seen anyone talk about this, but if no French rider wins in this Tour de France, it'll be the first time since 1999 that a French rider does not win at the Tour de France. And that is not something the French want to see. So they're either going to need to pick up a win here from the breakaway, and that being Bruno Amaral or Lenny Martinez. One of those are going to have to win. They're the only 2 French guys in the breakaway, or someone from France is going to have to pick up a win in the breakaway tomorrow. But if they don't do that, and no French rider wins in stage 21, it'll be the first time since 1999 a French rider does not win a stage in the Tour de France, which I think is actually... I think that's a crazy fact. What is the time to the peloton? The peloton is currently 4 minutes and 7 seconds down. They were 4:20. Now they're 4:06. So the time is dropping. 1.2 kilometers until the top of the climb. And it is Bruno Amaral doing all the work by himself. I'm waiting for Tobias Foss to take over here because he sat in second wheel. But I don't think he's going to take over anytime soon. But it looks like Bruno Amaral is emptying the tank here. And he's going to probably get just towards the top of the climb before he's done. Ian Izagiri is another one that drops off the back. Currently at the back of the peloton now is Tish Benoit, Harald Tejada, Tobias Hallen Johannesson. Lenny Martinez is in front of him. Then we've got Javier Romer and Aino Rubio in front of Lenny Martinez. Then we've got Matteo Cataneo of Red Bull. He's towards, well, I say towards the back. He's actually in the middle now. I think 7-8 is the magic number for the break. Pog looks pretty good. Yellow shorts look better with the jersey, but it's only if they stay yellow. Bound to be a minion on the Alps cut. Team radio coming in from Visma. Let's see what they're saying. Come on, in front. We have to commit. Bruno, you ride full. Together with EF. Together with Little Trek. If you heard someone knocked on the window, I have no clue who knocked, but someone knocked on the window. I'm not going to check on who it is. But AF Education, they now take over at the front of the peloton with Richard Carapaz. Richard Carapaz takes over. Jordan Jagat, he's struggling to hold on in the yellow jersey group. So he is. Carapaz takes over at the front of the break. Sorry, was something was happening there. Carapaz takes over at the front of the peloton. Bruno Amaral he's struggling now in second wheel with Tobias Foss in third wheel. 29 kilometers. I'm still on 40k here. 29 kilometers to go. I'll change that to 25 actually. Don't forget, if you are new, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. We are aiming for 1,000 subscribers here for the end of the Tour de France, so get involved in the community, get involved in the chat. We're closing in on the Alpe d'Huez now as they cross the top of the Category 2 climb. Carapaz taking the 5 points there, so that moves him closer to Valentin Paripantra. Tobias Foss now takes over at the front of the breakaway. Is that the peloton is tiny? The peloton is really, really small. Jordan Jagat has dropped off the back of the peloton now. He's got Matteo Verche in front of him. And we're looking up the road to the peloton with Tadej Pogačar, Isaac Del Toro, Grosschartner, Evenepoel, Jai Hindley, Maxime Van Gils, Juan Ayuso, Derek G, Scalmoza, Carlos Verona, Paul Sexas, Nicola Prodhomme, Elian Van Wilder, Mauro Schmidt and Tom Pidcock. The only riders remaining in this peloton. 15 riders left in the peloton. Well, according to PCS. 3:54 is the gap. The time gap is ticking down. Grosschartner now takes over at the front of the peloton. No more Vermeersch, no more teammates for Q36, and no more teammates for... Well, Red Bull still have 3 teammates remaining, but they're going to leave this up to Grosschartner to do his turn. Let me have a quick look at the poll. Tadej Pogačar 76%, Remco on 6%, Breakaway 14%, and Other on 4%. That is what the poll is currently looking like. If you haven't voted in the poll, go and vote. Let me know who you believe is going to go on to win it. If you are voting for Breakaway, let me know who you think it is going to be. And if you're voting for Other as well, let me know who you're going to go for. Mauro Schmidt still with the GC, guys. Holy hell, he's in good form. He is in very good form. I thought he would have had a day off not being in the Breakaway, but he still fancies his chances from the GC group. Watching from South Africa, you're doing great. Subscribing now, thanks for the effort. Appreciate it. Thank you. Much appreciated. As for who's remaining in this breakaway, 14 riders according to PCS. Bruno Amaral, Seb Kuss, Cataneo, Quinn Simmons is still there. Richard Carapaz, Tish Benoit, Matthew Riccatello, Harold Tejada, Lenny Martinez, Timon Arnsman, Tobias Foss, Tobias Hallen Johannesson, Javier Romo, and Einar Rubio. They're the 14 riders left. Tom Pidcock is currently at the back of the peloton. Out of the saddle, will we start to see him drop on this climb before this final climb before Alpe d'Huez? Will we not even see Tom Pidcock at the foot of the Alpe d'Huez with the GC guys? Prodhomme is class. Nicola Prodhomme is class. He has been very, very good for Paul Sexas, and he's still alongside him. And don't forget, Paul Sexas still has 2 teammates up the road. Remco Evenepoel has 2 teammates around him at the moment, but he still has a teammate up the road. Pogačar doesn't have Adam Yates up the road anymore, but I'm sure they'll catch him at some point, and he'll stay with the GC guys for as long as possible. Juan Ayuso and Scalmuza, they've got Quinn Simmons up the road. So they do. 25k to go. Valentin Paripantra, if anyone's wondering where Valentin Paripantra is, he's currently 7 minutes and 45 seconds down on the front of the race. Just in case anyone was curious, that means he's 4 minutes down on the peloton. Who's that towards the front for Red Bull? I think it might be Maxime Van. I'm going to assume it's Maxime Van Gils because I wouldn't expect him to use Jai Hindley so soon here. So I think Maxime Van Gils alongside Felix Großschartner is at the front for the, not even peloton. I'm still going to call them the peloton, but the peloton. Großschartner and Maxime Van Gils are currently doing the work. Tadej Pogacar sat in third wheel. Remco sat in fifth with Jai Hindley in front of him. Isaac Del Toro's on the wheel of Remco. Then we've got the Decathlon guys on the wheel of Isaac Del Toro. Little Trekker on the wheel of Decathlon. I used to have to start. I used to have started what? Oh, I used to have started a staring contest with the bike stem. Not great. I hope, fingers crossed, he's able to stay on. There's Paripantra of Decathlon. He's made his way back to the... Well, he's just about to make his way back to the GC/Pellet. I don't know why I'm trying to confuse this. He's making his way back to the peloton now. So that means Paul Sexas will have an extra teammate, 2 up the road and 2 alongside him. GC group is gaining before the big showdown. 3 minutes and 40 seconds or 3 minutes and 44 seconds is the time gap. Not looking good for the breakaway. Yates is in group 2, 1 minute behind the lead group. You should switch to the Tour Official Live. It's free. If it is, well, the majority of stuff that is free, it is. It's usually not available in my country. If you're talking about a YouTube stream or something like that. But I've got PCS and you're right. Adam Yates is 45 seconds down on the front group. He's got Davide Peganzoli, Sean Quinn, Marco Frigo, Ian Izagiri, Clement Brazafonso, Michael Storer and Jonas Vossard alongside him. 8 riders in that group. But it does say Mads Pedersen is the second group in this, according to TNT's live coverage. It is saying Mads Pedersen, the green jersey group, 3.5 minutes down. They're 20 seconds ahead of the GC group. So who will be joining? So Vasek, Pedersen, Tiberi, Johannesson, George Bennett, Howson and Martin, or Guillaume Martin will be joining this group. Does that benefit anyone? Tom Pidcock gets a teammate, but for how long? It benefits Juan Ayuso and Scalmuza as they get Vasek and Pedersen back, but for how long? Oh, the Tour official website. If it was Remco, he'd be shouting at the frame, says Kat. But there's Mads Pedersen and Vasek. They're about to get caught here by the GC group, and all the riders that I mentioned alongside them aren't there. So I don't know. So no Tiberi, Johannesson, Bennett, Howson, or Guillaume Martin. I think Guillaume Martin is just a bit behind. I think he's just been caught, but for the other riders, I've no clue where they went. But as you can see, you can see in the distance of Pedersen and Vasek, the GC group. So you can. 21.2 kilometers to go. Twenty-one to go. What's that? Near 7-8 kilometers until Alpe d'Huez. 7-8 kilometers until it all kicks off. Oh, we're getting closer. I just missed that. 70 time is coming down. Let's go, Tadej. A sentence I didn't think I would ever say. Well, I've cheered for Tadej Pogacar before, and I'm never going to do it again. No, I take that back. I have cheered for him before, and the time I did cheer for him, I regret cheering for him now after seeing how he's overtaken the sport. And I would like to see Roglic win that Tour de France now, looking back on it. How far till the base of the climb? So there is 20.3 kilometers to go. The Alpe d'Huez is 13.8 kilometers long. So We're closing in on 9 kilometers left until the foot. The gap is 3:49. But as the cycling PT or the cycling guy PT in the chat was talking about, this descent does seem very technical. A lot of turns, and there's a pretty big drop off the right hand side. So fingers crossed everyone is makes it to the bottom safe. Fingers crossed that does happen. What is this? Is this? I was going to say that they're showing the updates already. I thought, who's on it? I seen cars going up, and I thought, hold up, what have I just missed? But no, it's just the bottom of the updates. It's showing all the cars still going up, but obviously the cars that are a lot further up the road. But they're giving the aerial view now of the Alpe d'Huez, and it is an absolute beast. 21 hairpins. Whoa, whoa. With you to say, I feel okay cheering with him this one time, but whoever wins it will be an amazing win. Current gap is really on the fence of the breakaway, tending towards GC group side though. Appreciate it, Kat. They're showing the value viewer look off the Alpe d'Huez at the moment on the live coverage, and it just looks like a snake. So looks like a snake. Robert's rooting for Pog, so he's rooting for Pogacar. No one has dropped off in the breakaway. Still the same 14 riders. The group that I was talking about that was a minute down with Adam Yates, Peganzoli, it has got the riders that I thought went missing with Mads Pedersen and Vasek. So a minute down on this front group. So I'm going to burp. Adam Yates, Davide Peganzoli, Sean Quinn, Tiberi, Ben O'Connor, Michael Matthews, Johannesson, George Bennett, Ian Izagiri, Howson, Guillaume Martin, Michael Storr, and Jonas Vossard. That group of 13 is separating the breakaway and the GC guys. The peloton's only 15 riders big. That's how big it is, as Bruno Amaral still at the front of the breakaway. He's still at the front of the breakaway. I thought he just moved off the front. But this, I'll tell you what, rider of the day so far, slowly leaning towards Bruno Amaral. This is a brilliant performance from himself, but we've still got 16.7 kilometers to go, 3 kilometers until the foot of the climb. Tobias Foss now takes over at the front. And if you are just joining, I'm going to quickly give a brief who's in the front group. They're 3 minutes and 35 seconds up the road on the peloton. Bruno Amaral, Seb Kuss, Cataneo, Quinn Simmons, Richard Carapaz, Tish Benoit, Matthew Riccatello, Harold Tejada, Lenny Martinez, Timon Aronson, Tobias Foss, Tobias Hallen Johannesson, Javier Romo, and Einar Rubio. Out of those guys, Seb Kuss, Richard Carapaz, Lenny Martinez, Aronson are the 4 guys I'm looking at to potentially win this stage from the breakaway. You could add Tobias Hallen Johannesson, but he hasn't really, I think he's come down with a stomach bug, and it sort of showed yesterday. Quinn Simmons, I don't really see it. Matthew Riccatello, I expect him to be helping Paul Sexas at some point. Harold Tejada, I think he was struggling at the back of the breakaway there in the last climb. Einar Rubio could fancy his chances, but he did do a lot in the breakaways in the Giro d'Italia, so we're going to have to see how that works out. So I'm just trying to hydrate here before the next 40 minutes of 40 minutes of this. So 15.4 kilometers to go. Impossible for the peloton to have the winner. So two costs thinks the peloton isn't going to win it. 15.3 kilometers to go. We're getting closer to the Alpe d'Huez. I'm going to the profile of the stage is going to disappear, and no, that's the wrong thing. The profile of the stage is going to disappear, and if you look in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, you're going to see the Alpe d'Huez appear. That is what the Alpe d'Huez is looking like, and it does have an average of 8%, and I think if you remove the final 3 kilometers of that, the averages goes into the double digits. So it's the first 10, 11 kilometers where the steep sections are. 3 kilometers, it'll flatten out, but it's the first 11 kilometers that matter. 14.8 kilometers, 1 kilometer to go. Don't forget, if you are new, subscribe, like, join the community. We're aiming for 1,000, yada, yada, yada. Get involved, as we're about to hit the Alpe d'Huez for the first time in this year's Tour de France. We also hit it tomorrow as well, but I don't think we go up. We're not going up the Alpe d'Huez. We're going up the back route. We're taking the opposite side. 14.3. What do we think is going to happen? Just final verdict here. 3.5 minutes is the gap. Do you think the peloton is going to take it? Do you think Tadej Pogačar is going to win it? Or do you think the breakaway is able to do enough to go on to win this stage? Looking at the poll, 75% think Tadej Pogačar is getting it. 14% are going with the breakaway. But let me know just quickly, because I did put that poll up quite some time ago. So here we go. 13.8 kilometers to go now. We are at the foot of Alpe d'Huez. The first ever summit finish off the Tour de France. And we're here for it. We are all here for it. They officially hit it there now, but so it looks like the live coverage was just a tad bit ahead. But the breakaway is on the Alpe d'Huez. They've started it, and the crowd at the bottom is already insane. Bruno Amaral still at the front with a massive, massive effort, knowing Seb Kuss is behind and has the potential to win. Tish Benoot drops off immediately on the Alpe d'Huez. He's going to have a long next 40 minutes to an hour. So he's gonna have. There's Cataneo. He's dropping off the back as well. Clement Brazafonso struggling at the back. Richard Carapaz as well looks as though he's struggling at the back. So I think we're going to come down to a potential showdown here between Arendsman and Seb Kuss. And I'm pretty happy with that. Paul will go into the first half kilometer of the Alpe d'Huez just so we can all focus on the real battle, the white jersey. I'm thinking it's probable that the winner comes from the GC group, says Rubber. Tobias Foss still being there for Arendsman is pretty amazing. It is, because he's actually surprised me on the climbs this Tour de France, Tobias Foss. So he's another one that deserves it. I mean, everyone who's taken part in this Tour de France just deserves to give themselves a round of applause. But Bruno Amaral at the moment is crazy. Tadej took about 45 seconds out of Carapaz in about 45 seconds the other day. The white jersey battle, that's what we're all here for. It's technically true. Said the yellow was decided in the first week. It'll not be long now until the peloton hit the bottom of the Alpe d'Huez, but Clement Brazafonso, Harold Tejada have dropped. They're the next two riders. Oh, Harold Tejada is slowly, he's hanging on. 15 kilometers to go for the peloton. They've hit the 15 kilometer mark, so they've still got 1.2 kilometers until the foot of the Alpe d'Huez. Vasek, Mads Pedersen, Felix Großschartner, and who's the other? I can't even remember who it is for Red Bull. Maxime Van Gils. They're the four riders at the front, pacing for the peloton. Why are Little Trek doing it? Oh, obviously because Lenny Martinez. I've just realised now. I'm going to get the GC back up on the screen. There we go. Hairpin 21 is done, and Bruno Amaral has just dropped off the back as soon as they hit it. 20. One down, 20 to go. Tobias Foss, now he takes over at the front. That says favourites. I need the GC up. There's the GC. But Tobias Foss, he's now the main guy at the front. Who is that? Sean Quinn? Sean Quinn, he's like almost... Sean, the guy, the people standing at the side of the road are going quicker than Sean Quinn on the Alpe d'Huez now. Clement Brazafonso struggling at the back. He's not struggling. He's trying to get back onto the back of this breakaway. But Mads Pedersen, it looks as though he's going to be leading the peloton onto the Alpe d'Huez. That's one sentence I didn't think I'd be saying. As the peloton, they're going to hit the bottom of the Alpe d'Huez now. They're now onto the Alpe d'Huez. Mads Pedersen leads them onto it. Felix Großschartner second wheel, Maxime Van Gilsen third wheel, Tadej Pogacar on the wheel of Maxime Van Gilsen. All the cars are parked at the side of the road, giving out what seems to be probably the last water bottle opportunity for a lot of the riders, and I don't expect a lot of the GC guys to pick one up because it's going to end up adding weight to them. So, who's that straight to the front? Parry Pantry? Arnsman, Timon Arnsman attacks out the front. Lenny Martinez on the wheel of Arnsman. Completely forgot about Lenny Martinez when I was talking about Arnsman and Seb Kuss, but Arnsman goes. Lenny Martinez in the wheel. Seb Kuss, he's going to slowly bring the gap back. He doesn't want to do too much too soon, and he's going to ride at his own pace and maybe bring them back as the gap does seem to be increasing. 20 kilometers an hour, and they're on the 11% gradient at the moment. Mads Pedersen has hit a massive standstill, so it's going to be a long final 12 kilometers for him. But it's Arnsman, Lenny Martinez. Seb Kuss has bridged his way over. He's got Carapaz in the wheel, so Carapaz is still there. We've got a group of 4 here. Who's that trying to bridge across? Javier Romo of Movistar is trying to bridge across and make it a group of 5, but it looks as though he is struggling. Tom Pidcock has dropped off the back of the peloton. The 2022 winner of the Alpe d'Huez, he's dropped off the back of the peloton, and it's not going to be back-to-back wins for Tom Pidcock. Maxime Van Gils is at the front of the peloton now. Großschartner second wheel, Tadej Pogacar third wheel, Remco in fourth wheel. Tadej Pogacar picks up a bottle, doesn't even have a sip, and just completely empties it all over himself. Juan Ayuso drops. Juan Ayuso has dropped from the peloton. He's the next one. He's the next GC guy to drop out of this peloton. Skelmos is still in the front group though. He's hanging on at the back, but who's going to make the first move from the GC group? Tadej Pogacar gets another water bottle and just completely empties it over himself again. He's obviously feeling the heat, and rightly so. But Arnsman, camera pans back to the front group, and Arnsman out of the saddle. Still the same order with Lenny Martinez in second, Seb Kuss in third, and Richard Carapaz in fourth. Tobias Hallen-Johannesson, who's he got with him? Einar Rubio and Quinn Simmons. They've made a group of 3. I don't know where they are in the mountain. We're going to see groups popping up all over the place. Where they are in the climb, I have no clue, but all I know is the breakaway up the front of the road. Matthew Riccatello's bridging across here. Riccatello's bridging across and Javier Romo has bridged across to make it a group of 5, and Riccatello's just about to join the back of them and make it a group of 6. So we're going to have 6 riders yet again on the final climb. We had it yesterday, and we're going to have it again today, and Richard Carapaz is involved yet again. Tadej Pogacar attack. Tadej Pogacar has just attacked. Seated acceleration. Who's going with him? Who can go with him? No one can go with him as Tadej Pogacar is opening up the gap here. There's one rider from Decathlon. I think it's Nicolas Prudhomme. He's the one out of the saddle at the front of the rest of the GC guys, but he can't bring the gap down at all. Tadej Pogacar looks over his shoulder, and I think the GC guys are gone, and it's the breakaway left. Play the Jaws music because Tadej Pogacar is a man on a mission, and he's got what's the time got? Just under 3 minutes to catch the breakaway. 11.7 kilometers to go. Will he do it? Oh no. Oh no. Nicolas Prudhomme still at the front of the GC group. Paul Sexas in second wheel. Isaac Del Toro in third wheel. Who's that? Antonio Taberi? Antonio Taberi potentially being caught by Tadej Pogacar there. It's someone from Bahrain. I think it's Taberi. But Tadej Pogacar passes him with ease. There's Damien Housen of Q36 gets passed with ease as well. They can do nothing but watch on as Tadej Pogacar. Wee Sunday stroll. That's all it is. Matthew Riccatello with an attack out the front of this group of 6. Richard Carapaz bridges across Seb Kuss in third wheel. Seb Kuss actually goes to the right hand side of the road and puts in his own attack. Seb Kuss puts in his attack. Richard Carapaz yet again the only one to follow. Is Richard Carapaz going to do the double here? We seen him do yesterday. Richard Carapaz followed every single attack on the final mountain and then went solo himself, and he's doing it yet again. All we need to see now is an attack from Carapaz as he gets out of the saddle. He's in the wheel of Seb Kuss. Timon Arnsman's gone. Lenny Martinez is still here. Riccatello's gone. Javier Romo's gone, and we're down to a group of 3. Seb Kuss, Richard Carapaz, and Lenny Martinez. I can see Riccatello there in the distance. There's Adam Yates. Tadej Pogacar's bridging over to Adam Yates. Will Adam Yates do a job, or will he pull off to the side and let Tadej Pogacar come through as Adam Yates gets out of the saddle? Tadej Pogacar locks onto his wheel, and Adam Yates is going to do the job for him. Tadej Pogacar is not going to pass Adam Yates, and it's going to be down to Adam Yates to close this gap of 2 minutes and 50 seconds on the breakaway. Come on, breakaway. Come on, breakaway. Someone get it from the breakaway. Will Visma Leasebike be able to spoil the party of Tadej Pogacar? Will they be able to do it? Or will it be AF Education with back-to-back wins with Richard Carapaz? Or will Barry and Victorious finally get their win with the French rider? We've got a bird's eye view here off the GC group, which is now dwindled down to 5 riders. Nicola Prodon, Paul Sexas, Isaac Del Toro, Remco Evenepoel, and Jai Hindley. Jai Hindley, obviously, he's going to be the new Florian Lipowitz in this situation, and he's doing a good job at it. But there we go, Richard Carapaz out of the saddle, and Richard Carapaz puts in his attack. Is it a good attack? Is it a big attack? No, he just gets out of the saddle enough to go to the front of the group, and he's going to remain out of the saddle. Seb Kuss, I tell you what, he's looking strong here in this one. The gap is 2:36. That is what the gap is between Tadej Pogacar and the breakaway. There's still a group in between him. He has to take over Riccatello, Aaron Smith, Javier Romo, Quinn Simmons, Harold Tejada, Tobias Foss, Einar Rubio, and Tobias Hall Johannesson. But we've still got 10.7 kilometers to go. Yates, what a star. Agreed, Shelley. Yates is he's doing some job here after the absolute hell he's been put through over the past couple of stages. And he's bounced back here in the Alpe d'Huez for Tadej Pogacar. It would have been good to see Jonas Vingegaard on this one. I'm not going to lie. But I'm glad Seb Kuss is up the front and he's looking strong for a potential stage win. But there we go, Matthew Riccatello, he attacks out the front of the Quinn Simmons group. Richard Carapaz is going again. Richard Carapaz puts in another seated attack. Never mind, he's out of the saddle again, ripping in another attack. Seb Kuss not letting him go anywhere. Lenny Martinez looking comfortable in third. This is a crazy group of 3 riders to be going up the Alpe d'Huez solo. Yes, Poker, Tadej Pogacar, he went solo a couple kilometers ago and he's gapped everyone. Well, I mean, he's not solo anymore. He's got Adam Yates in front of him as Richard Carapaz puts in it. What is Richard Carapaz? Richard Carapaz is an absolute pleasure to watch here. He's absolutely brilliant. He was a pleasure to watch yesterday, and he's proven again he's proven again today why he's one of the best cyclists to watch at the moment. He's at the front of this breakaway with a group of 3 and he just keeps putting in attack after attack. This time he's actually attacking people. Yesterday he was attacking himself. Look at the crowds on the side of the road. The crowds aren't disappointing. Everyone's got the polka dot jersey shirt on. But the crowds are it's only going to get worse from here with the crowds. Adam Yates still in front of Tadej Pogacar, and Tadej Pogacar 2 minutes and 35. There is Tish Benoot being caught. So that is Tish Benoot gets caught by Adam Yates and Tadej Pogacar. They soared past him like there's nothing. Lenny Martinez is actually moving up into 5th in GC as things stand. What? As things stand, Lenny Martinez is in 5th in GC. He overtakes Skelmoza and Juan Ayuso. Juan Ayuso obviously dropped there as well. He dropped very early on. Will he remain in the top 10 in GC? That's it. Well, I mean, Jordan Jagat went out the back. Richard Carapaz might overtake Juan Ayuso. Tom Pidcock, he went out the back as well, but Juan Ayuso might be dropping 2 or 3 places today. Richard Carapaz is able to pick up a bottle and wastes no time in emptying it all over himself, but he does take an energy gel though. But Seb Kuss still in 2nd wheel, Lenny Martinez in 3rd wheel as Carapaz gets out of the saddle, moves over to the right-hand side of the road, keeps looking over his shoulder to see where everyone is as they do hit the 10-kilometer banner. Adam Blythe on the motorbike now. I want to see what he's saying. He says he snuck in. He's on the back of the motorbike. He says he snuck in behind Tadej Pogacar for about a kilometre, and he said he's a man on a mission. So I'm actually starting to get a bit scared for the breakaway, but the camera pans back to the GC guys as Tish Benoot and Matthew Riccatello take over at the front for Decathlon. Remco Evenepoel's in 3rd wheel. I want a camera on the. I do a swap to the. Do a swap to the multi-view. I might swap to the multi-view. I think this is the perfect stage to do it. Davide Peganzoli, he's now on the wheel of Tadej Pogacar, and he's actually able to hold the pace as well. There we go. Adam Yates is done. Tadej Pogacar left to his own devices. He's no teammates up the road. It is just Tadej Pogacar and a dream. He's got the only thing left to overtake is there's 11 riders to overtake. So he's got 11 riders to overtake, and then it's the finish line. Will he be able to do it? The gap is 2 minutes and 28 seconds. The only thing that is possibly going to stop Tadej Pogacar is a fan. I think that's the only thing that is going to stop Tadej Pogacar today. Unless Seb Kuss, Carapaz and Lenny Martinez are on a different level. Tadej Pogacar takes another bottle and he just empties it over himself. Doesn't even take a drink of it. Just completely empties the whole thing over himself. He's got 3 motorbikes around him. He's moto pacing. There is Bruno Amaral. He gets caught now by the GC guys. Tish Benoit is still at the front. Who is that alongside him? Remco Evenepoel has a teammate, and Matteo Cataneo. He's towards the front of the breakaway, or the GC group as well as Lenny Martinez. He's at the front of the breakaway. Richard Carapaz now moves to the front. Seb Kuss in third wheel, and they're all side by side at the moment. Now they all move back together, but Richard Carapaz doing all the work at the moment, and the time gap is 2 minutes and 10 seconds. It was 2 minutes and 20 seconds 5 seconds ago. One of these guys have to attack. That I think they're either accepting their fate and they couldn't be bothered attacking, or they know. If I was one of them, I don't know what I would do. I would be wearing black shorts if if I was in that breakaway, because I would be bricking it. Carapaz is the highly predicted winner. Will Carapaz be able to hold on and get the win? They're running out of gas, says Rubber. Will they? I don't know. Tadej Pogacar is now 2-9 as Richard Carapaz puts in another attack. Richard Carapaz isn't out of gas yet. Lenny Martinez follows. A gap opens up to Seb Kuss. So it's Lenny Martinez and Carapaz going as Seb Kuss drops. Will Seb Kuss be able to go his own pace and bridge back? Or is he going? And we're down to 2. We've went from 6 to 3 and now down to 2. Lenny Martinez and Richard Carapaz both go as a duo with 8.6 kilometers to go on Alpe d'Huez. You still can't see Seb Kuss in the back. I think he's going to ride his own pace and claw them back. I think that's what he's going to do. I think Seb Kuss is still looking comfortable. I don't think there's any issues with Seb Kuss. Carapaz and Lenny Martinez both look over the shoulder. Well, I actually think Lenny Martinez is more looking at Carapaz waiting for another attack, as Carapaz seems to just attack. The only real cyclist left. But I'm glad to see Lenny Martinez here. I mean, if he goes on to win it, it's one person who definitely deserves a big win this year. He obviously beat Jonas Vingegaard in the final stage of the Paris-Nice. He got caught in the final stage of the Tour de Suisse by Tadej Pogacar. Will we see another scenario where he gets caught again? But Seb Kuss has bridged his way back. It is back to a group of 3. Carapaz, Lenny Martinez and Seb Kuss. We're at the front of the GC guys. Is Paul Sexas is at the front now. He's run out of teammates. So Paul Sexas, Remco Evenepoel, Matteo Cataneo. Then we've got Isaac Del Toro and then Matthias Scalmuza. That is what the white jersey GC group is looking like. I'll just call them the GC group. Ayuso and Tom Pidcock, they're a minute down on the GC guys. Tadej Pogacar is a minute and 50. Oh no. Tadej Pogacar is a minute and 49. Oh no. The seconds are actually ticking down as seconds. So they are. 8.1 kilometers to go. Richard Carapaz at the front. Martinez in the wheel. Seb Kuss in third wheel. We still have a group 40 seconds down. According to PCS, we're still a group of 40 seconds down on the front 3. Tadej Pogacar is a minute and 10 seconds behind them. Well, I don't think it's a group of 8. I think it's a group of 6, as there's a rider from Movistar and Quinn Simmons drop from it. But I think Matthew Riccatello's also dropped from it. But Harold Tejada, Aronsman, Tobias Foss, Johannesson, we've still yet to find them. As Javier Romo drops with Quinn Simmons, and Tadej Pogacar just we Sunday stroll past them like it is nothing. Aina Rubio is the only one remaining for Movistar in that second group chasing the front 3, but I don't think they're not going to catch the front 3. It's just how long it takes Tadej Pogacar to catch them. We pan back to the GC group, which is 2 minutes and 52 down the road. Paul Sexas is still at the front. Remco still sat in second wheel. Isaac Del Toro still in fourth wheel. Are we going to see a Paul Sexas masterclass on this one? Obviously for the battle of the podium, not the battle for the stage. 3 minutes is the gap for the GC guys on the front of the race. Tadej Pogacar is a minute and 46. Minute and 45 now. 7.7 kilometers to go. Juan Ayuso's 4 minutes and 5 seconds down. So he's a minute and 10 seconds down on the GC guys. So what does that put him? It puts him it puts him down into 7th at the moment. So it does. Camera is on Tadej Pogačar. He's on his own. He's solo. He's got no yellow no yellow trousers, but he's got the black ones on. And maybe it was the right call, switching things up, and he's going to go on to potentially win this one. There's Harold Tejada being swept up by Tadej Pogačar. He's only got 8 riders in front of him now. One by one, he'll tick them off. Harold Tejada, all he can do is just look at Tadej Pogačar as he passes. Actually, no, never mind. He tries to get onto the wheel. Will he be able to hold the wheel at Tadej Pogačar? Now we're getting into the crowd, and the crowd are getting onto the road now. The camera's lost the 3 at the front. Richard Carapaz leading them. Lenny Martinez in second and Seb Kuss in third, and the crowd are out in full force now. We're seeing the Alpe d'Huez in full force here. No more standing at the side of the road. They're all giving them not even a meter gap, and look at that crowd. That is cycling there. That is just the pure image of cycling. Crowd at the side of the road dressed up in absolutely everything, flags out, and a cyclist trying to get up through the middle of them. Lenny Martinez moves to the front. He doesn't grab a bottle, but someone from the team is able to spray water all over him. There's the flares out. That is just... I'm in awe of the crowd. I'm in awe. Tadej Pogačar has Aronsman in his sights. He's the next one for Tadej Pogačar to overtake and drop. Harold Tejada wasn't able to hold the wheel as Richard Carapaz. Another attack by Richard Carapaz. What's that, 10? I've lost count of how many attacks Richard Carapaz has done. Lenny Martinez still able to go with him. Seb Kuss still riding his own pace. Nothing out of the window for Seb Kuss yet. Lenny Martinez... It's another replay of the previous attack. Carapaz attacks Lenny Martinez straight to the wheel, open a gap on Seb Kuss, and Seb Kuss, looking as fresh as ever, is going to close the gap down. Carapaz pulls over to the side of the road and Lenny Martinez pulls through. He goes to the front. Carapaz now in second wheel. There's the big Skelmoza flag there on top of a caravan. But Seb Kuss has made his way back. I tell you what, Seb Kuss is looking good for this one, provided Tadej Pogačar's a minute and 13 gap. The minute and 13 gap at Tadej Pogačar. Last time I checked, it was a minute and 45. Tadej Pogačar's just slowly but surely going to get him. There's someone running up alongside them, but he can't get too much of a gap because of the crowd. As he gets pushed back into the crowd by someone. So I don't know if it was a policeman that shoved him, but we did see someone else. Seb Kuss puts in his own attack. So Seb Kuss finally opening up his attacking account. Lenny Martinez on his wheel. Richard Carapaz in third. But they're gaining no time on Tadej Pogačar with these attacks. No time is being gained. Tadej Pogačar is now a minute and 8 seconds behind them. 6.6 kilometers to go. Oh, the only two left according to PCS, the only two left for Tadej Pogačar to catch is Einar Rubio and Tobias Hallen Johannesson, and then it is a smooth sailing to the breakaway. I will change this to 5, but look at the crowd here. All the Slovenian flags out for Tadej Pogačar. I don't even know what hairpin we're at now. I've lost count of all the hairpins. The cameras are swapping all over the road. But look at the helicopter view of the GC group, as we've now got Matthew Riccatello back in the GC group for Paul Sexas as he's leading out these guys. Remco in second wheel, Isaac Del Toro now in fourth wheel as Cataneo drops off. So once Matthew Riccatello's gone, we're left down to 4 in the GC group of Paul Sexas, Remco Evenepoel, Isaac Del Toro, and look at the crowd. Oh my days. The crowd is absolutely crazy. Bird's eye view of the climb. And Seb Kuss, he's still at the front of the breakaway. The gap is a minute and 9 seconds, so it has steadied. It's actually went up to a minute and 10. We're now into a segment off the Alpe d'Huez where there are barriers. The barriers are out, so the riders are actually going to get a bit of a breather from the crowd as the cars are going to be able to pass them here. When will the barriers disappear again, though? Seb Kuss looking over his shoulder to see if Lenny Martinez and Carapaz want to make a move, and the gap for... Richard Carapaz near crashes into the car behind him. Seb Kuss puts in another attack as Richard Carapaz is more concerned about him almost falling. Seb Kuss takes advantage of that and puts in another attack. Richard Carapaz able to follow and get the wheel of Seb Kuss. Lenny Martinez still on the wheel of Carapaz. But it looks like Carapaz is going to have another Valentin Paripantry situation. with having so Parpenter was glued to Carapaz's wheel yesterday, and it looks like Lenny Martinez is going to be glued to his wheel today. But camera pan back to Tadej Pogačar as he can see Einar Rubio and Tobias Johannesson up the road. The barriers have disappeared yet again, and the crowd are out on the road in full force with the flag shaking. I can just see someone's flag getting caught in a front wheel or something like that. That's what I'm expecting to see. But I hope that I hope we are able to see Sepp Kuss get it. I hope we're able to see any of these ones get it. Obviously Sepp Kuss, because I sort of half predicted him to get it. Sorry, so 1 minute. Tadej Pogačar has caught Einar Rubio and Tobias Johannesson. They're struggling to hold the wheel off him, and it is under a minute. 58 seconds is the gap with 5.6 kilometers to go. Oh no. Richard Carapaz is at the front, out of the saddle. Sepp Kuss on his wheel. Lenny Martinez in third wheel, and I mean, Tadej Pogačar, he's going to pass him, and he's going to pass him. And the rate that these three are riding at the front, it looks like a massive battle. And when Tadej Pogačar arrives, he's just... It's just going to be zoom straight past him with the speed Tadej Pogačar is probably doing. They're not even going to be able to hold the wheel. He's just going to stroll past them as though he's not, as though they're not even in the race. Tadej Pogačar will just stroll as Carapaz. Another attack from Richard Carapaz. He puts in another attack. Like I said in the previous one, I've lost count. But Lenny Martinez, he's not on the wheel this time. He was behind Sepp Kuss, but he passes Sepp Kuss and gets out of the saddle himself to try and glue himself to the wheel of Richard Carapaz. Sepp Kuss, gap opens up from Lenny Martinez to Sepp Kuss, which he will then slowly bring back as he's been doing for the past 3 or 4 times. But Lenny Martinez and Carapaz go clear for now. Tadej Pogačar 44 seconds down. Oh my days. 5.2 kilometers to go. 42 seconds is the gap. It is not looking good for the breakaway. Maybe they did need 5 minutes, maybe 6 minutes. Maybe that's the time they were looking. The time actually goes up. Sepp Kuss is able to bridge his way back. They hit 5 kilometers to go for Alpe d'Huez, and then a couple, maybe 100 meters up the road, they hit the 5 kilometer banner for the stage. The three up front are riding like they have 1 kilometer to go, and I'm loving it. I am loving it. The time gap has went up to 50 seconds now. So every time there's an attack and Sepp Kuss is able to bridge his way back, they do seem to gain time on Tadej Pogačar as it goes up to 51 seconds. But Tadej Pogačar will gain back those 8 seconds that he lost in like 2 seconds. No police anywhere, but the police only seem to be around when there is barriers involved. When there's no barriers, it's every man for themselves. There's a guy dressed as a banana. We're in the Norway section. Look at all the Norway flags. As the French flag hits Carapaz in the head, thankfully he did not go down there. But we've got half the road with a barrier, half the road with no barrier. This is a weird setup. There's police there on the side with no barriers. A bit of a weird setup there, but we're back into a barrier situation as Tadej Pogačar hits the 5 kilometer banner. 40 seconds is the gap. He's got no one behind him, but he's got 3 riders in front of him. 37 seconds. Sepp Kuss at the front. Martinez in second wheel. Carapaz in third wheel. As Sepp Kuss seems to be putting in a seated acceleration. The GC guys are 2 minutes and 40 seconds down. Still no action between them, it seems. Look at this crowd. 33 seconds is the gap. Tadej Pogačar still hasn't caught them, but it'll not be long until he sees them up the road, and it just... Then the Jaws music starts to play. It's been playing since the base of the climb, but it's going to get louder and louder when he sees them up the road. 4.4 kilometers to go. 30 seconds is the gap. Not long now until the inevitable happens. Never mind, 32 seconds. They're increasing the gap. Look at the police. Rugby tackling people off the road. Go on. But... Look at this crowd is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Sepp Kuss is still at the front. Camera still hasn't panned back to the GC guys. I should probably switch over to the multi-view, but I'm not missing a thing, so I'm keeping it on this one. 4.2 kilometers. 32 seconds is the gap. 31 now. It was holding at 32 for a while, but now we're down to 30. Not long until we go under 30. Now it's back up to 31. Tadej Pogačar, 29. We're under 30 seconds now. 28. There were questions. Is Tadej Pogačar going to get sick? Is he not feeling 100%? And here are the questions being answered. 26 seconds is the gap. Look at that crowd. There's the GC group hitting the 5 kilometer banner. Matthew Riccatello still at the front, putting in a massive job for Paul Sexas. I'm in awe looking at this crowd. The camera's on Tadej Pogačar at the moment. 3.9 kilometers to go for the 3 up the front. 20 seconds is the gap. It'll not be long until we see them up the road. There's the motorcyclists. Can we see them? Not quite yet. They're looking over their shoulder. Lenny Martinez. There he is. Tadej Pogačar in the distance as Lenny Martinez looks over his left shoulder at the 4 kilometer banner. Are they all sitting up now? Do they know it's over? I think they've all sat up as Tadej Pogačar. It's 15 seconds. It looks like he's gonna be smashing Pantani's record, it seems. 13 seconds is the gap. Lenny Martinez moves to the front. He gets out of the saddle. He's not letting Tadej Pogačar have it this easy. He wants the time grab to increase. He wants Tadej Pogačar to work for it, but Tadej Pogačar, I don't even think I think there's more water on him than sweat after starting this climb because he's emptied that much water over him. 3.6 kilometers to go, and you can just see in the distance Jaws is closing in. There they are up the road. We're getting the camera from behind Tadej Pogačar, and you can see the 3 of them up the front. Once they do eventually get caught, you have to give them a round of applause. Richard Carapaz, Lenny Martinez, and Seb Kuss. What a performance by the 3 of these. More of I would give Carapaz a bigger round of applause, especially after yesterday's win and attacking on that. And I think he's near attacked into the double digits on this one, and he's still going. We're into another barricaded section. Some guy running up the side of the road, not behind the barricades, and he gets swiftly removed from the side of the road by the security as Remco attacks. Remco attacks off the front. We've got an attack from Remco. Riccatello's still at the front. He's pacing, but Remco cannot get past the motorbikes. The motorbikes can't get past the fans. The motorbikes can't get past Thymen Arensman, who's up the road, and Remco's got a standstill. Oh no! Remco's attacked and he can't get past anyone. There's Thymen Arensman, 2 motorbikes, and then Remco. Seb Kuss puts in another attack on the right-hand side of the road just as Tadej Pogačar is about to catch him. 2 seconds is the gap, and Seb Kuss says, "No, you're not having this, mate. I'm away." He wants Visma Lesevic to stand tall on the podium. 3 seconds is the gap where we see Tadej Pogačar get out of the saddle. 3.2 kilometers to go, but I want the camera to go back to Remco Evenepoel there because I'm sure he's not going to have... I'm sure he's going to start his shouting match very soon here. If it had to happen to one person, it would have to happen to Remco. As the motorbikes go free, Thymen Arensman gets past. Riccatello drops off the back. Sexas now goes to the front with Isaac Del Toro on his wheel, and Scalmo's on the wheel of Isaac Del Toro. But Remco has gone clear. I repeat, Remco has gone clear on Alpe d'Huez ahead of Paul Sexas, Isaac Del Toro, and Scalmo's. As Richard Carapaz with another attack at the 3 kilometer banner, and this time he's going solo. Seb Kuss seems to have hit the wall. Lenny Martinez seems to have hit the wall, and Carapaz is going clear. 3 kilometers to go. The gap to Tadej Pogačar is 8 seconds. Will Richard Carapaz be able to hold on? I don't think so, but Tadej Pogačar does seem a lot fresher. He'll probably get out of the saddle at some point. Lenny Martinez comes round the corner in the distance. Seb Kuss has been passed by Tadej Pogačar. 9 seconds, 10 seconds is the gap from Tadej Pogačar to Richard Carapaz. Richard Carapaz has not given up. Tadej Pogačar is in the distance. 2.8 kilometers to go as Richard Carapaz out of the saddle again. Richard Carapaz is not giving up. He's not letting this go lightly as Tadej Pogačar catches on to Lenny Martinez. And he sees Richard Carapaz up the road. Come on, Carapaz. Keep it up. 2.7k to go. 6 seconds is the gap. The inevitable is going to happen. But fair play to Richard Carapaz for this. He's made this. He's making a meal of this one. Look at the crowd on the side of the mountain. Oh my days. Oh my days. Lenny Martinez is able to grab the wheel of Tadej Pogačar. The gap is 7 seconds. Remco Evenepoel has a gap of 10 seconds on the other GC guys. Will Sexas and Isaac Del Toro be able to bring him back and potentially attack him? But fair play to Remco. He did have the balls on him to do an attack, and it is paying off. But Richard Carapaz gritting the teeth. The jersey's unzipped, the chain swinging, and the Ecuadorian is going clear with 9 seconds. 2.4 kilometers is the distance until they hit the finish line. Remco Evenepoel, small screen on him at the top of the live coverage, 2 minutes and 11 seconds. The gap is now under 10 seconds for the GC guys behind him. He's going to get caught eventually. But if he does get caught and he does get dropped, we will be seeing him in the interview after, complaining about the motorbikes and obviously Timon Arnsman holding them all up. There's Tadej Pogačar in the distance as he's kicking up the pace here with 2.3 kilometers to go. Lenny Martinez still on the wheel of Tadej Pogačar, but once he drops, it looks like we're no French winner yet again. It's going to have to be up to stage 20 and stage 21 for a French winner French rider to pull something off. Remco Evenepoel, I'm pretty sure he's hit either the 3 or 4 kilometer banner there for the climb. Richard Carapaz out of the saddle again. He's still going for it, and he's not giving up. Richard Carapaz, take a bow. This is absolutely unreal. The gap is now 4 seconds. Camera pans back to Remco Evenepoel. Don't know what hairpin he's hit there, but he's hit another hairpin. Don't know how many's left to go. The crowd are behind barriers, so there's going to be no issues as Isaac Del Toro. Del Toro, seated attack. Paul Sexas can't get out of the saddle, can't respond, and Isaac Del Toro is going clear. Is the podium wrapping up here on stage 19? Yes, we do have a massive mountain day tomorrow, but Paul Sexas can't hold the wheel. Carapaz hits a 2 kilometer banner. Pogačar hits the 2 kilometer banner. The gap is 3 seconds. Yes, it's 2 seconds, and I'm expecting the gap is 27 meters. Tadej Pogačar not out of the saddle, but I'm expecting him to get out of the saddle at some point here and put in an attack. If it's an attack to catch up to Richard Carapaz or an attack to go clear himself, he still has an attack left in him. 1.8 kilometers is the gap, and Tadej Pogačar closes the distance. We've now got a group of 3. Not Seb Kuss, Lenny Martinez and Carapaz. We've got Lenny Martinez, Carapaz and Tadej Pogačar. As Tadej Pogačar has caught Richard Carapaz. Carapaz is still getting out of the saddle. He's still at the front of this group of 3. Does Tadej Pogačar even have enough for a sprint? If it does come down to that, I'm expecting a Tadej Pogačar attack. Look at the crowd. The crowd here on the top of the hill. We're over the steepest section. We're on the flat part. Are we going to come down to a sprint? A 3-man sprint on the Alpe d'Huez. This is actually crazy. This is actually crazy. I just went through a tunnel. I just completely lost him. Tadej Pogačar attacks. Tadej Pogačar has attacked. He's opened up the attack. Richard Carapaz trying to go with him. He's able to hold the wheel. Richard Carapaz is able to hold the wheel of Tadej Pogačar. Are we going to see a 3-man sprint here between Tadej Pogačar, Richard Carapaz and Lenny Martinez? 1.4 kilometers to go until they hit the top of Alpe d'Huez. I can just see the chat going. I can barely focus on the chat with what's going on here. Am I joining for the recap today? Says the Cycling Dame. Well, hello, Cycling Dame. Unfortunately, I would love to be a part of the recap. I've got work though in an hour, so I unfortunately can't, and I'm raging with it. I'm raging with it. But we've got 1.3 kilometers to go. Tadej Pogačar is leading Richard Carapaz and Lenny Martinez to the 1 kilometer banner. Does Tadej Pogačar, he put in an attack there. Does he have another attack in him? Or has he hit his limit in all the seated accelerations? Will Richard Carapaz have that one more attack left in the tank as the 1 kilometer banner, the Flamme Rouge, is up ahead and Tadej Pogačar is leading them onto it? Remco 2 minutes and 20 down. Isaac Del Toro's 2 minutes and 40. So there's a 20-second gap. Tadej Pogačar puts in another attack. 1 kilometer to go. Richard Carapaz, is he able to hold the wheel? Can Carapaz hold the wheel? There's a small gap, maybe a bike length opens up between them, but Tadej Pogačar looks as though he is going to rip this one to the finish, and the gap opens up. No, it's not what you wanted. Tadej Pogačar opens up the gap. Richard Carapaz and Lenny Martinez is left in the dust as Tadej Pogačar is going solo here to the top of the Alpe d'Huez, stage 19. He's going to solidify the yellow jersey. I'm assuming he's going to beat Pantani's record. Look at the crowd. He's coming around the final few bends, 500 meters to go. And Tadej Pogačar is going to cross the line solo. Richard Carapaz and Lenny Martinez nowhere in the distance. Oh my days, what a stage. Tadej Pogacar, I mean, Richard Carapaz, take a bow. Lenny Martinez, take a bow. Tadej Pogacar, take a bow. The crowd is absolutely insane. There is the finish line as Tadej Pogacar looks as though he's going to smash Pantani's record. He's going to become the second person ever to win on top of Alpe d'Huez in the yellow jersey. He's going to take his... I don't even know how many stages he's won this Tour de France, but it's probably 5 at this point. There's Lenny Martinez opening up the sprint against Richard Carapaz in the distance, but Tadej Pogacar, he just does it. He gets out of the saddle, a wee leisurely stroll to the line, and Tadej Pogacar wins stage 19 on top of the Alpe d'Huez of the Tour de France, solidifies the yellow jersey. He takes another win to add to his account. He's got one more mountain stage remaining, and then we've got the final stage. Richard Carapaz finishes in third. Lenny Martinez takes second, beating Richard Carapaz in the sprint. Here comes Remco. This is the gap for Remco. Where will Remco finish? Can Isaac Del Toro catch him, or is everyone going to eat their words again? Is Remco's going to Remco's going to be the best of the rest for the GC guys? Remco's still got a decent bit to go, but don't forget, if you are new, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, join the community. We're aiming for 1,000 subscribers for the end of the Tour de France, so get involved. It is greatly appreciated if you do subscribe, if you were able to join me for this stage as well. Even if you're here for the final kilometre from the very start of the day, it's much appreciated. But Remco is going to hit the 1 kilometre banner now. Where is Isaac Del Toro? There's Seb Kuss crossing the line. He's going to cross the line just over a minute down. He's another one that needs to take a massive performance from Seb Kuss. Wasn't his day, but what a finale. I mean, it didn't go the way I wanted it to go, right? But what a finale nonetheless, as Seb Kuss crosses the line. Not be long until Tadej Pogacar, he's already crossed the line. Not be long until Remco crosses the line. Here's Isaac Del Toro, 800 metres to go. Can you see Remco up the road? Remco's got a 6-second gap on Isaac Del Toro and a 15-second gap on Sexas, so that means Paul Sexas is 7 seconds behind Isaac Del Toro. I wonder if Matthew Riccatello's still alongside Paul Sexas and Paul Sexas is able to open up some sort of a sprint. There's Remco. He's going to hit the 500 metre banner, doing the final few turns before he hits the finish line. Oh, but what a ride. I mean, we didn't really get to see Remco, but he was able to attack. His attack did get blocked by the two motorbikes and Thymen Arensman. But Remco Evenepoel is going to cross the line here in 5th. Remco Evenepoel is going to grab... Oh no, he's not. Einar Rubio and Johannesson are still up the road. So is he going to grab 7th? It looks like Remco Evenepoel is going to grab a 7th place finish on Alpe d'Huez. Silencing, I can't even say the word, silencing everyone yet again as he drops Isaac Del Toro, he drops Paul Sexas, and he gains more time on the pair of them. Not a lot of time, but still time nonetheless. We have a massive day tomorrow, so I actually take that back on Remco Evenepoel. We've still got a big day tomorrow. But there's Remco cross the line. Here comes Isaac Del Toro crossing the line with 2:40. There's Skelmuza. Skelmuza's going to beat Sexas up this climb as he crosses. Paul Sexas crosses as well. And there is our GC battle done. Our first place battle done. The yellow jersey battle. I mean, it was sealed in week 1, but it's well and truly sealed now. All the other riders are there's Harold Tejada and Matthew Riccatello coming, but I'll see if I can get the top 10. I do have the top... Actually, no, 10th has yet to finish. Will it be Harold Tejada or Matthew Riccatello? The sprint opens up between the pair of them. Who's going to win for the final top 10 place between the two of them? It looks as though it is going to be Harold Tejada. Yeah, Riccatello sits up, so we have got a top 10. Tadej Pogacar wins it. 6 seconds down, Lenny Martinez. 9 seconds down in third is Richard Carapaz. Minute and 14, Seb Kuss in fourth. Fifth, Tobias Hallen Johannesson, 2:07. Remco finished in 6th, so he did 2 minutes and 29. Isaac Del Toro in 7th, 2:41. Skelmuza in 8th, 2:45. Paul Sexas in 9th as well. He's in the same time as Skelmuza, and then Harold Tejada in 10th. Wow, what a race. What a race. Don't forget, I'm going to wrap up the stream here, but don't forget, if you are new, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe as well. It's greatly appreciated if you do subscribe. Hopefully we're able to hit 1,000 by the end of the Tour de France. It'll be very good if we do. If we don't, it's all it's all good. But thank you all so much for joining me today, and I'm going to have to wrap it up pretty quickly here, but thanks a lot for joining me today. It does mean a lot. If you joined at the start of the stage, or even if you joined there for the final 1 kilometre, it is greatly appreciated. I see a lot of people dropping off here in the chat, but thanks Ian, thanks Shelley, thanks Steve, thanks Stephanie, thanks Rubber, John, Paige, Poker. Yes, all the best to all of you. Thanks for watching the Final K. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow for the final mountain stage of the 2026 Tour de France, and it looks like it is going to be another massive one. And then we've got the Montmartre. Massive 2 days ahead, and I cannot wait for it, and hopefully you're able to join me. So thanks for watching the Final K, and all the best.